Good afternoon, I'm Isaiah Jacob. Last night, the Columbus Blue Jackets' hopes at the postseason went out the window when the Philadelphia Flyers beat Carolina in shootout fashion. The Blue Jackets are back in action tonight against the Washington Capitals at 7 p.m. The CBJ have now missed the playoffs 19 of the past 25 seasons. It now extends a 6-season playoff drought. The Guardians' bats were hot yesterday against the Cardinals 9-3. Brian Rocchio and Angel Martinez both walked away with home runs. They are back in action today at 7:40. The Cincinnati Reds begin their series today against the San Francisco Giants at 6:40. And then this update was sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. Boy, that was a punch to the solar plexus right there by Zeke in the update. Like, I was all ready to talk Jackets in the first segment. We're tabling it now to the second segment. Like, that was a frame job.
I mean, it's hard to get over hearing 19 of 25.
Like, I'm now going to wait like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we need a breather. We need a breather. So let's ease into that conversation, because the number that's been floating around is 6, right? And that's like, okay, that's not great. But when you hear our boy Zeke in the update say 19 of 25 without a postseason appearance, that's brutal.
He's like the human Wikipedia.
Hey, look, he's got a job to do. He's delivering the facts, whether we like it or not. That is his job. So, yeah, that sets a tone.
Goodness.
That sets a tone going into tonight's game. How are you? You good?
If you don't like it, make the playoffs.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just
disputing
saying
the facts.
The way that he said it.
It's like sins of the father. You guys know what that means?
No.
That means the children that are suffering major consequences and all the negative stuff that comes down from their parents' wrongdoings.
You know, it'd be
I'm not going to blame the 2025-26 Blue Jackets for a team from, let's even call it Torts' last year, 5th worst in the NHL. You know, let's not do that. I understand it was quite a frame job, though.
It really was. It'd be like, AR, if I was a 3-point shooter, right? And I was going through a cold stretch, and like the last 4 games, I was 1 of 12 from 3. And then you read my numbers, it's like, actually, for the year, you know, he's 20 of 85 or something crazy. Like, I don't know. It just, when you put the macro view on it, it just hits a little different. It hits a little different. That's all.
I mean, yes, we're not disputing the fact, but if we're ever going to talk about this team correctly, it probably has to be done about this season.
All right, well, let's just do the Jackets now, because we're rolling.
I need a breather.
I think it's appropriate. Let's do it now. I think we just get into it, because Zeke got us going. He got us going.
It's fine, and tough love is needed, and I get it. And day after emotion, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like day after emotion in sports radio. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying it's not what it really should be, technically. They got so damn close, and they collapsed in the last 10 games. You cannot lose your way into the playoffs. I told you this, guys, 3 weeks ago, or whenever you drop the magical words. You cannot lose your way in. You might think you can, or people may. Here's more important. No one thought they would lose like that, because they were probably the hottest team in hockey. And I'm not saying you don't need the fans. Of course you need fans. But I come in today, if they win tonight, which doesn't matter, but I'm going to count it in the points, they're probably going to beat their estimation this year by 10 points and not get in. This is the fifth best team, fourth, fifth best team in the Western Conference.
I like that you brought that up, because if we would have told Jacket fans
2 months ago
exactly what you just, or prior to the season, either one, that you're going to exceed your points from last year but not get in
by maybe 10.
is that an acceptable season for you? Now the answer is absolutely no, because they took us on that magic carpet ride. So there's nobody that's going to answer, yes, I'm happy with that, and I understand that. But I think it is hard as a fan to have that type of perspective when the emotion is as high as it is right now.
Well, let me ask you this, because we talked to, was it Dean at the beginning of the year about the 84 points? And I think when you... Don. I get those two confused. But when you talked to Don and you threw the 84 number at him and said what you think about that, I know that like you cleared your expectations by about 10 points, but what would the 84 have had you at in a typical hockey season?
Out.
Okay, so I guess that's just relative to expectation, but that's not necessarily...
94 like generally gets you in.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
But this was a unicorn season in the East, and that's why it's so tough. I told you guys a week and a half ago that this was the year to get in just to kind of roll the dice a little bit while Florida's down. The Caps, the Rangers, this was the year to maybe get in and roll the dice a little bit. The other part about it is that they never really should have been in this situation as far as being this close after their start. And I'm not absolving them of the start. They went through a coaching change. There's reason to be tough on them today. They probably feel it. 2-7-1 is not good enough in the final 10. Whether it's pressure related, whether it's good team related that they played, whether it's a blown lead, a little bit of health, whatever. But they all have that, so I'm not going to get crazy on that. A little bit of identity lost, but they are who we think they are. They're good to a point. They lack the massive game breaker. Like, if I just landed here, I think we're stacking seasons, and it's okay. There is nobody at this station and nobody on this show that's going to turn this into a feel-good story today. Not doing that. I just want to be a realist, and I want to be somewhat level-headed because I know what the fans want to hear, and they want to hear it when Ohio State loses to Michigan, and they want to hear it. They want to blowtorch everything. And I think that's currency you can sprinkle on listeners to make them feel like you feel as angry as they feel. And that always works to some degree because listeners want the host to be as hard on the team as anybody, harder than the media, whatever. And I understand that. And I've never lied to anybody. I've never lied to myself. And I'm not going to make this a feel-good story today. But the doom and gloom that has been dropped on this season specifically is missing the mark a little bit. It is. I've seen this, the most disappointing season in Blue Jackets history. Why? Because it's the most recent one? Probably. Why? Because you were so close and the rug got pulled out? Probably. But it's not because they sucked. That's the difference. And I want people to put it in perspective that if you're going to stack 6 straight missing the playoff seasons, and what did Zeke say? 19 of 25?
Yeah.
Then what's going to happen is you're going to turn this season into all the rest, that they're all the same, they're all built the same, they all end the same. That's not what happened here. They're all different. This is gut-wrenching. He brought him back from the dead. I'm not going to give Don a ton of credit, but let's think about it for a second. He probably deserves some. He pulled the trigger early on the coach, or they're nowhere near what they were. Because it would have just been drifting along.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that was going to happen.
He made some additions that got them close. I want people to understand fans somehow want to be consoled like that what they feel is real. And I'm not telling them it's not real. But in January and February, if they were 18 points out at the break, what would we be saying today? The season would have been over 8 weeks ago. So would this have felt more disappointing, less disappointing, as disappointing?
I think just speaking for me.
A lot more.
Speaking for me, I've always kind of been in the camp of I'd rather my team get blown out than lose in heartbreak. And
that's one game, though.
I'm just saying I think the feeling of that could be similar to coming down the stretch and being so close and not getting in.
That's it.
And I think for a pocket of the Jackets fan base, you're sick and tired of almost getting in or almost doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's just been the vibe around this franchise for a long time. And so while, yes, we can identify some of the good that was happening, the end result is still the end result. You're on the outside looking in and watching everybody else have fun at the most important time. And so I'm
not everybody.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The playoff field. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying it's all doom and gloom. I'm agreeing with you with that. But I also can't sit here and year after year get to the finish line and be like, well, they did some good things along the way and this and that. Like, it's got to be bigger than that. It's got to be better than that in time. And that's obviously what they're striving for. But this is a results-based business. And this franchise has not stood up long enough at a consistent level to be where they need to be. And I think that is where a lot of people are. And that feeling, I think people are sick of at this point.
I agree with everything you're saying. I just don't know if anyone's willing to acknowledge that they got themselves back in it this year when they probably shouldn't even have been close.
I think people will acknowledge that, AR, but they don't.
They battled their asses off to get back in it.
But what did it result in? I think is the question people are asking themselves right now. That's all.
And I'm fine with that. Where this is missing the mark for me is they're taking this specific season and they're throwing it on the garbage heap with all the rest of the crap.
That's because the result is the same. That's why.
And if that's the way people want to look at it, they're entitled to look at it that way. But it's one of those seasons that they have to certainly learn how to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
If you give this coach a full season, maybe things are different. I don't know. They got to the end and they didn't handle it well.
It fell apart.
They did. And I'm not going to say I saw it coming. I didn't see it coming, but I certainly wasn't going to guarantee anything because I've seen this movie before, not just with them, just with other teams. This was an 84.5-point hockey team that could finish 94, fourth best in the West. That's all I'm saying. It was a unicorn year, and that if I look at the standings and you see these teams on the outside, the Caps, the Devils will be better. Florida will definitely be back. Let's see what Toronto does. The Rangers should be able to light a fire under them. This was why it hurts so much, is because this may have been the year, if they got in, they could have surprised somebody. The other thing that I hate that gets thrown out, and maybe this is day after emotion, and then you'll get to the, okay, what do they have to do? Who do they have to sign? Who are they going to let go? And we'll have those conversations. They found a goalie out of nowhere this year. Like, out of nowhere. This is an undrafted guy, and probably give it to Manny Legacy for finding him. Yarmo will get the credit, but Jet Greaves is up for a massive pay raise. Massive.
And he should get it.
And Don is not going to like me saying that over the air.
That's real, though.
And he knows it, and they know it.
Pay the man.
Now, maybe when you're making this little, this much looks really good, and instead of that much, that higher.
No, we need that much.
So
we need that much if you're Jets camp. For sure, because he's earned that. He did it at the back end of last year. They said, we're going to put you in a little bit of a competition with Elvis to start this year. And he grinded his way throughout, and he answered the call more times than not. So I agree with you.
54 games.
And Don knows that.
Yeah.
Don knows he's earned a big payday.
Yeah, maybe he's hoping for the good guy discount. Who knows?
That's the GM and you speak.
No, what I mean is, what I mean,
right,
no, I'm the one that brought up the raise.
You franchise tag him if you could.
You can't put me in that category. Don't put me in it. I'm the one that brought it up.
If the NHL had a franchise tag, you would apply it to Jet Greaves right now.
I don't know. 908 over 54 games. That's a home run. That's a grand slam. When what we thought, especially over that sample size of 54.
Do play well, no doubt.
All right, so we'll continue a little bit. I do think that the 81 and done, the front of the shirt now has a back that says the same. That hurts. That hurts. Yeah. It's better than 64 and done, which is probably where they were headed.
What about 19 out of 25?
That was quite a Heimlich to start the show. All right, we'll have Bobby McGilligan on, play-by-play man, at 12:30, and we'll come back with a little more on the Jackets because I do want to talk about some of their off-season moves that they probably need to make and where this could be going and growing. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. As a longtime homeowner, I know how it goes when it comes to things that need to be fixed around the house and you just haven't gotten to them. Like maybe that leaky faucet that always has a drip. You think about it, but you never take care of it, and now it's just a part of the house. It's character. Maybe it's your windows that are always sticking and you can't get them open. So you just don't think about it. Who cares? Except now the weather's nice. You want to open the windows, and again, you can't because they're not fixed. Get new windows from Window Nation. They've made it easy to get top quality custom fit windows with their the more you buy, the more you save sale. You could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. Did you know investing in your home is actually one of the best investments you can make, especially in uncertain times? Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. Energy efficient, beautiful windows from Window Nation with great deals going on now. Schedule your free consultation at windownation.com.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Spring into savings at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, drive your new Hyundai with payments as low as $94 per month for a 2-year lease. Get spring lease savings on every model from Elantra to Palisade. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit payment on 26 Elantra SE, $39.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year ends $430.
Austin Ward here, fired up for warm weather, golf season, longer days, more time outside. Ride the momentum and finally drop the weight you keep saying you will. With Awaken 180, it's fast, easy, and we're all proof that it works. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Nobody ever cast a vote for Amy Acton, but she stopped yours. At the last minute, the day before the 2020 primary, Acton called off and canceled the election, defying a judge's orders and abusing her power to silence voters. Now, Acton wants more power as our governor. We already gave her a chance, and we've seen what she'll do. Suspend elections and silence us. Ohio can't afford liberal Amy Acton leading our state. We deserve a governor who will stand up for voters, not shut them down. As our governor, Vivek Ramaswamy will fight for us to protect our voice at the polls and defend election integrity by supporting safe and secure elections with voter ID. Because here in Ohio, voters have the power, not unelected bureaucrats. Protecting your voice to secure our future. Lower costs, bigger paychecks. Vivek Ramaswamy for governor.
Paid for by Vivek Ramaswamy and Rob McCauley for Ohio.
Ryan Day's Buckeyes are ready. And so are we, damn it. Join Anthony Rothman, Dave Biddle, and Tim May for the Pelotonia Spring Game Tailgate Show.
Presented by Key Bank.
Broadcasting live from Fan Fest, Saturday morning at 10 on The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms develop this afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy to mostly cloudy with highs in the low 80s and breezy winds. We'll see partly cloudy skies tonight with overnight lows in the 60s. And then for Wednesday, we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms again in the afternoon, otherwise partly sunny, breezy, and warmer with highs in the mid to upper 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. Like trying to snap a picture of Bigfoot. Nobody has ever witnessed Maddie eating a carb. This is Rothman Ice.
All right, call it what you want. Gut punch, choke, heartbroken. All emotions attached to this season. Players are feeling it. I'm sure the coaching staff is certainly feeling. Bones, who had him on a ride, I always talked about it really wasn't about how far they could go. It was getting in to get the payoff off of the miraculous turnaround. That's what it became for me. I don't know if it became that for other Jacket fans, but this was a season that was left for dead. It was. And Don pulled the trigger, and credit to him for doing that. He recognized it, didn't want this season to be one that just got lost in the sauce, and they wound up probably bettering what Las Vegas, and guess what? They don't get it wrong too much. They have before, but not always. And so that's who they were going to be. They used it as motivation. They blew some leads. We can go back to, a point here, a point there. Of course, that's what this game becomes. And the point in December is worth as much as the point is worth last week. And you start adding them up and it feels bad. And that's what we're doing today. You're stacking up seasons because it's a culture thing. It's a organizational thing. And outside of the Torts' team sweeping the best team in hockey over the last 25 years, we've had very few moments of feeling it. And that's what the fans are feeling today. And I understand that. And that's why we're not making it a feel-good story. But if you take one step back from the emotion, just a half step, and you look at what this season could have been, should have been, and wasn't, there is something to be said for let's just not stack it on the previous ones. Let's just not do that. I understand where you're going, that the bottom line is you didn't get in. And it's disappointing. Is it the most disappointing season in their history? Of course it's not. It's not even close.
Right.
It's just not. Now, if you're because I'll tell you what would have been disappointing. The most disappointing season in Jackets history would have been the team that when they went all in without being already in with Bobrovsky and Panarin, and that team didn't even make the playoffs. Now you got nothing to show for it. And so the people that are saying that today are just on day after emotion because the 2-7-1. And 2-7-1 is never going to be good enough down the stretch. Rarely would it ever. You'd have to be such a great team and build yourself such a cushion. That's good for Rory McIlroy. That's who can do that. He can have a bad day and be okay. But now you're sitting with the question, is this team good enough to re-sign guys that were already part of this? And that's going to be a really tough question. It's going to start at the top. It's going to start with Rick Bowness. And 100% you want him back. First of all, he's a proven coach, number one. And he's proven that he could do the job. And he could do it under very, very difficult circumstances. Did they catch a little bit of interim bump? Of course. I've always admitted that. You've heard me say, I don't bet on hockey that much anymore, but when I do, it's usually after a coaching change.
And it was more than just a bump, right? They were riding that wave for a pretty long time. And so, yeah, that's absolutely credit to him. He came in, you could hear it in his voice right away. When he was speaking to the media, he wanted to sharpen the tools, sharpen the mindset, sharpen the physicality, the edge of this team and the aggression that they played with. And you could see it and feel it. Some people are questioning maybe right now, did that negatively affect them coming down the stretch? I don't think that's the case. I think those guys bought in to what he wanted from them. They got the immediate results. And as a player, how could you not want to continue to buy into that along the way? So I would be here for that. Rick, at this point in his career, does he want to do this for a long time or for the next couple of years or whatever that's going to look like? But if you're Don Waddell and all the decision makers over there, no doubt, he is amongst the guys top of your list that you are going to consider moving forward with as the leader or one of the leaders of this franchise. And so, yeah, it was a wild card situation because you just never know, right? Because you can have a coach come in and demand those things from players, and players may not want to buy in to that style, or they may face some resistance. The leaders of the team didn't do that. Everybody else followed. And you got the good pocket of the season on the back end that we got. Nobody's going to be satisfied over there. But I think Rick can go into this offseason and look at the core that he could have moving forward, and I think be encouraged to want to run it back with those guys because of the results that they did cook up.
Yeah, he could. I don't know. That's certainly, if he's a guy that's wired to want to coach and he can get a full season with a team, then he would want to do it. It would make sense. I don't think he's going to believe that the team is, quote, good enough right now, the way it's constructed. They went on a miracle ride. they've got some tough decisions to make. And they could do some short-term deals with some guys, and I'd be okay with that. And I don't know, because I think when you get into trouble as a middling franchise is when you give too many years to players that can't sustain those years. They just can't. And you've got to decide whether is this guy a third-line guy on my team, because where these guys are, the guy that comes to mind for me is Boone, and he's a fourth liner on this team. He can play in other places. He can, especially when it's needed. He's got that feel. Would they move on from the captaincy? I want him on my team at the right price. I want Matthew Olivier on my team at the right price all day long. It's when you start getting into the overspending. Cap's going up. I get that. We've got some guys. They need to kind of tighten up. They probably need to get some sort of a draft and develop game breaker. We had a guy in studio in Caden Lidstrom, that we hope will be that guy. Mm-hmm. If they start building out the center of this ice, Fantilli takes another step just in his overall game. Yeah. You've got guys that I think certainly are growing right before our eyes. But if you can sign an impact scorer, that's easier said than done. Bolster the D for sure. But you start looking up and down this lineup like I'm doing with Marchment was a great get. Got him late. I'd love to see him again. Probably not at 6 years. Like I feel like you're starting to look at guys. Coyle, fantastic.
Great pickup.
He's a third line beast, though. He is. Like, he's not going to get faster. He's not. I mean, he's a very, very good player. It was a great pickup. Shorter term deal all day long for me.
And he's 34 years old.
Yeah, so you have to do that. Yeah. And so I think they're, Goody was healthy this year. You love him for leadership. He's a third pair defenseman. I'm looking, you get him for half the price, you're feeling great.
I agree with you.
You get the coach back, and now all of a sudden you're growing a team that's still growing, but you're not setting them back with bad long-term deals that won't age very well based on what you eventually want to become.
You're absolutely right about when you are a franchise like the Jackets or in any sport, right, where you can't just throw crazy money around off-season after off-season. You have to make those smart contract, type decisions that you're talking about. But the other big component of what you have to do is hit on your draft picks when you're picking high. And one of the elephants in the room this year, in a bad way, was Kent Johnson. Wasn't a good season for him. We all know it. They picked him 5th overall. That was supposed to be one of those guys where we're talking about Fantilli, when we're talking about hopefully Lindstrom down the line, that those are pillars of your franchise moving forward. And that's going to be interesting to see what they do with him, what they say about him when the season concludes tonight, because he was supposed to be a centerpiece of all of this. And can he find it? I don't know. I have no idea. But that is a swing and a miss at the moment by the franchise when you drafted that guy 5th overall, because you're not getting the return that you thought you were going to get from a guy like that.
Yeah, hits and misses, but you're right. When you're this franchise, you got to hit more than miss. And they've gone through tragedy. They've gone through numerous coaching changes. They're not a young team, but they're growing still. They found a goalie overnight, I feel. And I know that can kind of oscillate a little bit, but, man, he played a lot bigger than he is, and he proved it over 54 games. And so when I look at this season in a vacuum, it's better than what people want to say today, but I certainly am paying homage to the fact that their skates just came out from under them in the last 10 games. Bob McElligott, play-by-play man, will call the final one tonight. He'll join us in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hi, this is D. Miller. Have you lost your energy? Not feeling it in the bedroom anymore? It could be your testosterone. Yes, even if you're a woman, testosterone controls energy, confidence, and sex drive too, for both men and women. Want to find out if your testosterone is unbalanced? Find out now for free. Synergenics and Low T Center are offering free testosterone testing for both men and women. Stop by or book today at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You know High Bank for their award-winning spirits, but the food deserves just as much love. Enjoy happy hour with friends, brunch with family, and dinner that never misses. Make your reservation today at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Working your way through that home projects list, that means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your air conditioner or furnace. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain issues? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing problems? Call the Waterworks. HVAC breakdowns? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted and certified plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
With all that can go wrong at your home, it's enough to make you want to say, oh, brother. With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, we cover it all. So visit us online at brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Rothman Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty promises he'll continue to do the show even if he wins the lottery. If only we believed him. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, it's typical day after emotion. Jackets get eliminated. Scorched earth. That's what people are going to expect. Taking the last half an hour to not lop this season onto the garbage heap. I don't think it was that type of season. They're going to exceed their points expectation, maybe by double digits. They had to pull the trigger on a coaching move. They had to make additions and kind of lean in because that's what their fans demand and deserve, and the season ticket holders and all that. And their skates came out from under them in the final 10. There's no other way to describe it. And because if they got some help last night, it would have been all positive today. They're still alive. Nobody would have been doom and gloom today. But now that it's over, I get it. And the man that's got to call out the string tonight is our guy, Bob McGilligan. There is no truth to the rumor, my friend, that we only call you when things aren't going well.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I need to fact check that.
You know what? I appreciate your genuineness and the way you look at teams and the way you call games. And you've got a great way about you in that certainly there's excitement when things are going well, but you're also equally a realist, and you can be critical at times. I'm very curious to hear your capsule of this season and how you will look at it and what your takeaway will be.
Yeah, it's a hard day to think about that, even though it's a game day, right? Because as you just said, like the mood is it's very down. And I think it's in times like this where we forget, to look at the overall picture. And I know that the bottom line is the team's not in the playoffs, and that stinks. And then you look at what they actually did and how they were left for dead early on. They came back with an incredible surge. And then, yes, you're right. The wheels fell off there at the end. Rick Bowness just talked about it this morning with the media. He said, look at our last 5 home games. We're 0-4-1. And, the difference lies in there. It was also a tough year to be in the Eastern Conference. I mean, if this team was in the West, you could have won the Pacific Division. If there was a different playoff structure, you could have been in the top 16, but there's not. So I think there are good things that have been done, like the point total and all of that stuff. But because you're in this conference and you're out of the playoffs, a lot of that is diminished by the despair that you feel that you're not playing beyond today.
Bobby Mack, you brought up Rick, so let's stay there. What's your feel right now on what he would want to do, right? Because I have to imagine from the top down and everybody over there, you obviously got to have Coach Rick Bowness at the forefront of your mind as the guy that could lead the charge for the next few years. But just being around him for the last few months, what's your feel on what he may want to do moving forward?
No, I think he's enjoyed his time here, and he's talked about that. But watching him, the way he interacts with his players, and just his demeanor around in general situations, hotel lobby or on the bus or whatever, I think he's really enjoyed being around this group of players, and I think he's having fun coaching again and all of those things. Does he have enough fun that he wants to come back again next year? Is that how does everything work out? He said this morning, he goes, there are going to be a lot of hard conversations that take place around here in the next couple of days, and he said that includes myself. And he said, I was just hoping that we weren't going to have those conversations until June, not in April. So, I think he enjoyed it. I know that the team enjoyed him, obviously. So I hope they're able to get something done. And I hope it's sooner than later, so that's one thing you can kind of set off to the side and, check the box and say this important piece is taken care of.
Yeah, well said there. I guess the question that he won't answer just yet is, they certainly weren't good enough this year, but they can't be the exact same team. I'd be curious if he agrees with that. It sounds like he's leaning towards the tough decisions that need to be made. But maybe the one thing they did find, Bob, is they found their goalie. And this is a great story, right? Undrafted free agent back 5 years ago, came out of nowhere. Probably Manny Legacy found this kid, Jet Greaves, and Yarmo and his staff got him in here, and over 54 games, he's a .908. I think if I would have told you those numbers over 54, that'd probably be enough. How do you feel they feel about finding their goalie of the future?
Well, he's playing tonight, and that tells me all I need to know. Because you could obviously play Elvis tonight, and you could give Jet the last night off. He doesn't want the night off. Rick said this morning he deserves to be in the net for this game tonight. You just made a good point right there. And there are people that are no longer in this organization that, they take a lot of blame for things that have gone on here, and they deserve some of the blame of the things that have gone on here. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes, or many times in those situations, you forget about some of the good things. And Jet Greaves, as you just described it, is, I think, not a good thing, but a great thing. Undrafted kid, a great person. I can't stress how good of a person this guy is. And, if you're a good person and you lose, people don't want to hear that. But this guy he's great in all aspects. His teammates love him. He's a fantastic human being, and he's showing that he has the potential to be a fantastic goaltender in the NHL for a long time. So, yes, they have found their goalie. I don't think there's any question of that. Who's going to be the other goalie? Yeah, that's going to be a question down the road. And then you want to find the perfect tandem. And these guys work together well this year, these two. But Jet, yes, he emerged, in my opinion, here, the way he's played. So I don't think you go into camp next year as concerned about the goaltending as this team has been over the past probably 3 years. But also, when you look back at it, and I include Elvis on this, the goaltending has been, I think, one of the lesser problems on this team all year.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I agree with you on that, Bobby Mack. Looking ahead just a little bit, because obviously that's just what we do now that we know what the end result is. Unfortunately for you, a roster decision that's going to be interesting moving forward, because you touched on Rick and his comments today about some of the tough decisions coming down here, down the stretch into the summer. But for you personally, what's going to be intriguing for you to watch as far as what they do with this player?
Charlie Coyle is going to be intriguing to me, because I think he came in here and he really grabbed the spot, not just through the points that he put up, the experience that he brings, the leadership that he brings. He's another all-around great guy, and people gravitate to him, and they like being around him. And, the thing with Charlie is he's an unrestricted free agent. He's had one of his best career years this year. When you look at his age, there are two things. It's going to come down to term of contract and the amount per year for that contract. And those are going to be the two things that the Blue Jackets are going to have to work out. But I'm really interested to see if they keep Charlie Coyle. I really hope they do keep Charlie Coyle. I do, because he's he's out of that same book that I just talked about with Jet Greaves when it comes to somebody you want to be around. This is somebody you want your younger players to be around. You want them to watch how he works every day and hear the things that he says and all those kind of things. So that roster decision is going to be one that I'm going to be eagerly watching and hoping that Charlie Coyle is back in the fold next year.
Yeah, I would overpay him short term, but I'd overpay him to keep him. I'm with you.
Yeah, and you would think everything is going to be short term, right? What is 34? So, probably a max 3-year contract.
That's right.
If you go to 4, if it goes to 4, I would think that would be to keep the yearly rate down. But yeah, I think that one might be a stretch. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. And the other guy too is Boone Jenner. Is he playing his last game as a Blue Jacket tonight? Will they re-sign him as an unrestricted free agent? He's been here for a long time. He's done a lot of good things for this franchise and for this community too. So that'll be another intriguing one.
Yeah, I think he probably falls under the category again at the right price all day long.
I feel bad for Boone because he's had some untimely injuries over the last couple of years, and you can't control that. I mean, here's a guy that basically has taken a team-friendly contract and then gets injured during that, and so he probably deserved more money in the past that he didn't get. You're hoping you can get it on the other end, and now have the injuries prevented you from being able to get it. It's to me, that one's really convoluted, and I'm glad I'm not a GM because I wouldn't want to have to make the decisions that Don Waddell's going to have to. But again, we're talking about quality human beings with these guys, not just good hockey players, but really quality human beings that add to much more than just the Blue Jackets in the building. It's the Blue Jackets outside of the building too.
Yeah, 100%, my man. And just in our final 30 seconds, it won't hurt as much if you watch Ovechkin score tonight in his last game ever. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, he's actually going to play all 82, which is amazing.
That is great. Good for him because he's. I know he keeps in some kind of shape. I mean, I wish I could come close to being in his kind of shape. And when you look at him out of uniform, you're like, really? This guy's playing 82 games here? So God bless him. I mean, I hope he stays, to be honest with you. I think the NHL is a better place with him in it.
He did score his first ever goal against us, so it would only make sense.
Yeah.
On a bookend.
Somebody told me, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but somebody told me as long as he stays in the league that we'll play the Capitals in the last game of the regular season, just because when it is the end, it will be the end.
Yeah. It's like the Cowboys and the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Some traditions we actually should give up. This may be one of them. My man, have a good stroll to the arena. Have a great call tonight. We appreciate you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Play-by-play man, Bob McElligott. I know it's mathematically not possible for 9-10 people to be the best in the biz when we throw, you're the best in the biz, but I think I can say that about Bob. We'll come back and get into a perspective on a NIL potential. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony here for Germain Honda of Dublin. Gas prices got you thinking twice about filling up? I hear you. During the Honda Spring event at Germain Honda of Dublin, it's the perfect time to check out Honda's hybrid lineup. Models like the Accord Hybrid and the CR-V Hybrid give you incredible fuel efficiency without sacrificing performance. Spend less time and money at the pump. Head to Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and see how far a hybrid can take you. GermainHondaofDublin.com.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. A seasonal tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. It all adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. There is nothing more meaningful you can do for yourself, your family, and friends than finally getting rid of that pain so they can enjoy that time with you again, especially heading into vacation season. Here, let me help you. It's Bobby Carpenter, and Dr. Tesner and his team at QC Kinetics take care of your pain in the office so you can go right along with your day. It's that easy. So if you say yes to any of these questions, you're the kind of patient QC Kinetics regenerative treatments can help every day. I have consistent pain in my joint, knees, hips, shoulder, back. Pain keeps me from getting a good night's sleep. I'm missing work or saying no to things that I love. I don't want surgery or a long-term recovery. I am at the end of my rope, and taking medications every day is just going to get me through the day. I don't want to do it anymore. So if you want to do that, go check out your free consultation over with my friends at QC Kinetics in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices in Dublin and in Gahanna.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to make memories than the Columbus Zoo. See tigers up close, watch playful otters, and see the baby elephants in action. For a limited time, take advantage of our Zoo After 2 p.m. deal. Plan your adventure at columbuszoo.org.
When you saw your heating bills this winter, did you think this is out of control? The problem is your house is leaking money, and the only thing higher than your heating bills are your cooling bills. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us fix your energy bill problem for good. If you aren't foam insulated, you really aren't insulated. For $99 a month, interest-free, we'll foam your home and help cut those energy bills. 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Hop into savings this spring with Ohio Mulch. For a limited time, save $100 on home delivery at ohiomulch.com. What sets Ohio Mulch apart? Premium pine bark mulch made from southern pine, long-lasting and perfect for hydrangeas and azaleas. Better mulch, better results. Ohio Mulch.
Join the fan weeknights at 6 for the Buckeye Show. And if you're asking if it's just a bunch of homers rooting for all things Ohio State, yes, it is. Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
The best teams don't always win titles. Sounds like AR and Maddie bragging about their fantasy teams.
Hey, that's cheating.
This is Rothman and Ice.
By the way, somebody heard me yesterday when I was lamenting about my guys that haven't hit a lot of home runs because I was in third in our Dinger draft.
Your team got it popping last night.
They heard me.
Yeah.
I didn't cut anybody.
So you got one from Schwarber yesterday, 2 from him.
Two from the big Schwabowski.
And I got 2 from Judge yesterday, too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got 2 from Judge yesterday.
Oh, then the guy behind the glass can't feel very good.
Good day at the office for us.
I don't. And I got one from the polar bear, too, I think.
There we go. Oh, yeah. See, I told you're good. Because you were at 10 yesterday.
14, 12, 10.
So now you're at least 13.
I would think.
There we go.
Okay.
And that's all.
It's a good Monday.
So what, 16, 13, 12?
We don't know what the other guys did.
Sounds
yeah,
about right.
Definitely got 2 yesterday from Judge. Him and Mike Trout were throwing haymakers at each other yesterday.
The Pete Alonso one was dangerous, too, because he actually hit it to somebody wearing, like, a polar bear mascot head, like he was Lee Corso or something. And so, like, he hit it straight to him, and, like, the guy was trying to catch it, but he dropped it because his vision is obstructed.
Right.
So it was kind of actually, like, very poetic in a way, where he hit it to a guy who was wearing, like, his costume with the polar bear head, but, like,
somebody was in the stands?
Somebody was in
with
the
a polar bear head.
In the left center field bleachers with the polar bear head.
How do you feel about that? You're always down on the guys who bring gloves to the park.
I actually support
This guy wore
that.
a mascot head.
I fully support that. That's cool to me.
That might be bad for the people sitting behind you.
Good call. Good call.
But
I'm irritated if I'm sitting behind that guy, for sure.
At least in that moment in time, the bleachers were a little bit empty because the O's were initially down like 9-1, and they stormed back and won the game.
So you can move around a little bit.
Yeah, so it looked like maybe some people left.
I got you.
Pete Alonso hit a homer to Mr. Splash.
Oh, no. We got fans with nicknames.
Who's Mr. Splash?
I'm out on this.
That doesn't...
That's new to me. That's new to me.
It's just I'm reading the headlines here. I don't know if it's accurate.
Mr. Splash.
Watch Orioles Pete Alonso lose it after hitting a home run to Mr. Splash wearing a polar bear head.
Mr. Splash is the official chief hydration officer and mascot for the Baltimore Orioles.
Quality H2O. Chief hydration.
Don't they have a mascot?
Well, that's a bird.
Right. So they got two
it's
now?
An Oriole.
No, dude, this Mr. Splash dude.
Yeah.
Which I was wondering because his jersey, he was wearing a jersey that had the number 86.
Okay.
And so it's got to be his own jersey. I'm not a fan of
I know you aren't.
Fans who become like their own characters.
Even little kids who dress up as umpires. You're not a fan of those guys.
So you're out on Marlins, man?
He's a little bit interesting because I actually like admire how he's able to get to like everything. So there's like there's a little bit admirable about that.
How rich is this man?
Wait a minute.
And what does he do?
I don't know, but he's like he's behind home plate at all the big games.
Everywhere. Like he's got to be rolling in cash. Marlins man that's always in the orange Marlins kind of like visor and the orange jersey.
Some rich dude that's retired that just kind of goes around.
Can you do a quick Google search on him real quick, TLC, to see how he's made his money? Because that's crazy.
I'm still pretty happy about this polar bear, but he looks like he's not in the fan section. He's ahead of the fans when he caught the home run.
I will say, though,
by the way, catching it wearing the head, I think he dropped it.
I think he dropped it, too.
Yeah,
the video looked like he dropped it.
Yeah, no, he went down to get it, or it went down fell through the cracks, Matty. There he is. He's got the ball. He didn't catch it, but he's not the mascot. This was not a regular fan.
So if you're the chief hydration officer, I'm assuming you're going around the stadium on like a hot day, handing out water or something?
Not for free, you're not.
Well,
not at a ballpark.
Maybe he's got like a little mister. You know?
That's what I'm thinking. Mister. That would be great.
Oh, man. You got something on the Marlins, man?
I got something on him.
What's going on with him?
How about this? His attendance. Now, this is on Wikipedia, so this is depending on how you feel about that. But how about this? His attendance at sporting events increased after being incorrectly diagnosed with liver cancer in 2014.
Oh.
So maybe this was like his bucket list, and he's like, hey, man, I don't have much time left. And it's like, actually, you do. And you just spent all your money.
Yeah, because he's emptying the clip, man.
Yeah, but he still does this.
Yeah, but it says he ran his own law firm and funds his lifestyle of attending all these. That's what I thought. I didn't even like some retired guy that just has cash and says, "This is what I want to do."
Great lifestyle.
I do enjoy him a little bit more than most. However, I do think wearing the fluorescent orange at games that have nothing to do with the Marlins, that's drawing attention.
It's a little out of bounds.
So,
I agree. A little out of bounds.
Yeah, but that's how he.
That's his.
I find him.
That's his trademark. Oh, it's tolerable.
Well, even the ones here, like, Buckeye Guy and Big Nut and all that.
Oh, the human mascot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think this guy is making himself a mascot, though.
The Marlins man?
Yeah, he's not bedazzling himself. He's wearing an orange visor and an orange bar. Well, I'm not saying he's
sticking out like a sore thumb, though. Because he'll go to a Yankees game, and their colors are navy and white, and he'll be sitting right behind home plate in bright orange.
I'm not saying that he's not getting a little something out of it. Like, I think he feels the celebrity part.
He's an attention seeker. He is. If you're doing that and that color, you're an attention seeker. You want to be seen.
Okay.
Right?
I'm with you. He probably wants to meet the athletes, meet fans. Like, I'm sure that he's that guy, but I don't think he probably went into it with...
Oh, how about
that being the motive?
So he specifically owns a workers' comp firm. So if we ever trip and fall here in the offices, we may have to call Marlins man.
Matty already knows that I blew that one.
Oh yeah,
I had a meniscus tear here.
You should have really sold that
on the premises.
Oh yeah,
in the old building. And Matty and Bobby were telling me, "Hey, that carpet looks a little frayed. Like you should You could easily blame it on them."
Oh, man.
And I could have gotten a nice scope done and all that. Maybe been out for a little bit, getting paid.
But you were like, I got to push through.
I just don't think I could have
faked it till you made it.
I don't think I wanted to go down that road legally with the company.
It's a lot.
It's just wouldn't be it. And then how would I prove negligence on their part?
Imagine
take a picture of the carpet.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine Rothman in
have
court.
Bobby be
Maddie, take a
my
picture
lawyer.
of this.
Yeah. No, Marlon's man would be your attorney, and you would be in there going over the photographs of the loose carpet.
Yeah, the strands.
That would have got it done for you.
It was frayed. That's right.
And your doctor would be in there testifying.
Well, yeah, because you want to make sure you don't have anything pre-existing.
Yeah.
Like I examined his knees a year ago. They were fine.
Roll you in there in a wheelchair.
Right.
Fake cast.
Maybe a neck brace.
Get out of that thing like Kevin Nash, that meme. The wrestler that's, he takes the little carpet off his rug off his leg and just pops up and ready to go. Like, that's what we do for you. We play it up to the nines.
The accountants at your doctor's office would have to present your medical bills and your history for the rehab that you went through and how much money you're owed.
Oh,
Marlon's man was in there full orange
was the
uniform.
juice really worth the was it really worth it?
Well, you said the right phrase. Marlon man, was the juice worth the squeeze? We're not sure. All right, we're going to come back at the top of the hour. So we talked about this NIL potential, and it's one of those that you're wondering how this happens and whether it really be worth it. We'll hit you with that top of the hour. Rothman Ice on the Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to hit the road with something new from Germain Toyota. Right now, get into a rugged 2026 Toyota Tundra with just 2.99% financing for up to 72 months. Power, performance, and capability ready for every spring adventure. Or cruise into the season with a 2026 Tacoma SR5 for only $299 a month for 36 months and $39.99 due at signing. Fresh deals, fresh rides. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in store. We'll bring your groceries right to you in our refrigerated trucks so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save $20 on your first Kroger pickup or delivery order of $75 or more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle of the night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Isaiah Jacob. Last night, the Blue Jackets were officially eliminated from postseason play when the Flyers defeated Carolina in a shootout. This extends a 6-season postseason drought. They will be in action tonight, hosting the Washington Capitals at 7 p.m., which could be Alex Ovechkin's final game. In MLB action, the Guardians beat the Cardinals yesterday 9-3. Brian Rocchio and Angel Martinez led the way with 2 home runs. Cleveland and St. Louis will continue their series tonight at 7:40. The Reds travel to San Francisco to start their series against the Giants at 6:40. On the mound for Cincinnati, Brady Singer. For the Giants, Robbie Ray. And this update was sponsored by the BMI Federal Credit Union. Voted best credit union for the past 8 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks. Visit BMIFCU.org to learn more. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's hidden talent is weaving a movie quote into every conversation. It's mostly not annoying. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, so we're in the world of NIL. We know that. Pay-to-play situation. Probably nothing stopping a big, wealthy donor of saying, hey, although they're not scouts, they're only going on what they hear through the coaching staff or the team, right? Like, that's not a...
and emotion, I think, too. Right? Like, I think if you are a big-time person in, I don't know, Ohio State's world, Texas Tech's world, Notre Dame's world, whoever, right? And you want to feel like your money is going to immediately hit the ground running and get you some return. So I think there's an emotional component to this, too, to where you got to be invested that way.
Also, most of the people that can't afford it are big time anyway, and this feeds into their big timeness.
Yes.
Right? Because now you're the one.
Yeah.
You're now the big, you're the bag, you're the person.
And then I love that point of view because there's probably maybe even a step for like some competition within that world. Like if you're a booster, I'm a booster, TLC's a booster. Oh,
you're a booster.
AR.
Wouldn't you like to be a booster too?
What's that? Is that sounds like a TV show jingle or something.
It was something from my childhood.
Is that like
I didn't have my Shazam ready to...
I think he's singing
pick
like
up your vocals.
It sounded like a TV show
commercial.
jingle.
No,
commercial. Okay.
Someone's going to get it in the next 5
You
seconds.
said I'm a booster. What was the lyrics that were coming to your mind there?
Wouldn't you like to be a...
Wouldn't you like to be a...
Wouldn't you like to be my neighbor, Mr. Rogers?
Probably the 80s?
Oh, no. I got it.
What is it?
It's Dr. Pepper. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper.
Oh, be a pepper?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what. Okay.
I'm here for Dr. Pepper. That's good. But no, AR, I think
I'm sure somebody out there of a certain age probably got it, but
I think you're on to something to where there could be maybe even some competition within the NIL world as far as the spenders.
Well,
like,
it depends
just as far as their ego.
Yes.
And knowing like, hey, AR cut a check for $750,000.
Yeah, where's my name on a building?
Correct. Like I'm going to go to $800,000.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's happening too behind the scenes.
Anthony Rothman Memorial Training Room.
Because you know how billionaires are.
Taped up.
There's competition and levels to all of this.
The recovery room.
Okay, that's what you want.
Good. Yeah,
the Rothman's recovery room.
Yeah, exactly. I would. All right, but we're in this world where guys want to be. Some people want to be anonymous donors. Some people want to certainly get something out of it, and then both though you can't look at those two things worse or better. But
coaches don't care.
No. So there was a story that we talked about with Jeremiah Smith and the best receiver on the team, perhaps the best receiver in the country, and that he was an All-American who stayed loyal to Ohio State, and that he chose Ohio State over Miami as the number one recruit in high school, and maybe they'll keep coming after him.
Chose Ohio State over Miami again by the
probably
sounds
so.
of it. Yeah.
So much so that he told On3, and I don't even know why he said this publicly. I don't know if maybe it was a little bit of ego and all that, which makes sense, because if someone was interviewing him and said, okay, I'm sure you got a lot of offers, he could have said, certainly I get offers, but I'm happy at Ohio State. Love the coaching staff, love my teammates. We're going to try to win a title. This is where I wanted to be. Sure, money matters, but I wasn't going to choose money over here. Now, that's what I would have said to him if I was advising him, but I'm not his age and I'm not who he is. But he told them that he was expecting getting offered over $10 million easy to leave Ohio State. Now, that's for 1 year season of football?
Well, because he's probably going to the league,
He's gone
right?
after this year.
Yeah.
Right.
1 for 10.
I mean,
he'll take that deal all day and tomorrow.
I know he's really, really, really talented. And I guess some people would say it's all relative if you can afford it. But I don't even know how that would work. I guess nothing matters now. You can pay a guy that because they're part of the revenue sharing with the TV stuff. And but 20 and a half is total. I think there's a percentage that's attached to football and basketball and whatever. Sure. But so if I'm a high-priced donor.
Michael Irvin.
Yeah, I can just call up his agent and just say, hey, give me his routing number. If he says, yes, I got $10 million here, that's...
I don't know if it's lump sum. I don't know if it's payments. I don't know.
Because those are what they call the third-party NIL deals. And I don't know what... And those don't count against the revenue sharing cap. Yeah. So they'd get some of that. Like the schools can directly pay their guys. And then there's third-party NIL stuff.
So the revenue sharing basically creates a salary floor?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe for the lessers, the lesser...
The Rutgers of the world.
Now, I'm sure the big stars want a piece of that too. They just don't want to get all their millions from NIL.
I'm assuming they are getting a piece of that. And then they're also getting, because Jeremiah's had plenty of deals off to the side, whether it's, Red Bull. I think he did something with American Eagle and stuff like that. So I'm assuming the $10 million that he mentioned, that would just be part of the money that's outside of the pot that we were just talking about, that he could just rake in. And so I guess Coach Day yesterday spoke about this, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure what crazy is anymore. Yeah. People say crazy, people say Wild West, people say a lot of things, and I agree with what everybody's saying. It's a challenging time, but we're trying to figure it all out. And this is unprecedented times for sure. There's no question about it. And so we're not going to change our philosophy. We want to recruit great high school players, develop them, and then retain them. And a big part of that is the sphere of influence. And, in particular with Jeremiah, when you talk about his family, when you talk about his agent, when you talk about, he keeps it really tight. There's great trust there. And to me, that gives you a chance to sort through some of these difficult times. That's it. And so we have to make sure that we stay focused on that when we bring people into the building, that we still focus on that part of it. The player and the student athlete is very, very important, but who surrounds them is just as important nowadays.
The difference is that, from my understanding, all of those deals have to have some valid attachment to a business. There has to be a purpose. They got to be providing something to that business. Now, could they fake that part of it? I guess. Who was the one that we had?
Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah, that was in the pros, though.
Oh, yeah. So it's like,
what was his job? Watching trees grow?
Something crazy.
No, it was some nonsense endorsement. However, it was so much money that was their way of saying, hey, we'll dedicate some of your salary to this and some of it to the NBA, which obviously allows you to get around the salary cap.
That's a boring job, AR. Watching trees. Hey, but if you're paying me millions to do
That's
it,
what I mean. It goes along with watching the cars rust.
I think to your point, if I'm Matty Ice's ice cream shop, right?
Matty's ice cream.
Wait a minute. You mean like frozen ice? You mean like Italian ice or something?
Like
I don't think you want to go
diamonds. Could I be calling them ice like that?
Well, we could
I
do
did
that.
say ice
we
cream,
could do
though.
that too. We could get you some uncut gems, and you can go to work.
Kevin Garnett was good at that, wasn't he? I thought Kevin Garnett was good
better
at
than
that.
I thought he'd be.
I think his first movie.
Yeah.
Well, was he in Space Jam
Pretty
or
good.
something like that? Either way, I think to your point, if Matty Ice's ice cream shop comes to you and you're the best wide receiver in the country is Anthony Rothman, right? You're playing for Indiana, and I'm trying to lure you to Columbus. You would have to represent my ice cream shop.
Yes, something,
get that money.
Some type of endorsement, some type of
Come
attachment.
get a scoop of chocolate ice cream.
At TLC,
you don't even need that, though.
Well, I don't know if you do or not. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking the question, if you're a wealthy donor of Notre Dame and you wanted Jeremiah Smith to go to South Bend, and that's what I'm asking. I don't think you can just call up his agent and say, give me his routing number. I got $10 million for him. I don't think that's legal.
I think you can. I mean, the tampering angle of that is probably the illegal aspect of it, but what, you have to prove that Jeremiah Smith, did work for your company?
I thought all of those deals had to be reported. Anything over $1,500 or $2,500.
And I think that's an easy thing to get done. He can throw up one Instagram post, one tweet.
Sure. Is that what
one commercial or whatever, and it's done. But I think to Coach Day's point on what he's talking about, man, I can't imagine a lot of 20, 21-year-olds, 19-year-olds, whatever, that are going to turn down that money. And that speaks to how guys are wired. And I think that's important, whether it is guys coming in via the portal or guys coming out of high school. You really got to tap into that as a coach and a coaching staff, because not everybody's obviously going to get $10 million offers. But I don't know if there's a lot of people that would turn that down too, especially when you are a guy like Jeremiah Smith and the team that we're going to assume offered it was Miami. And that's a team that's probably going to be in the mix again. This isn't a team that, hey, if I go over there and take the money, it's not going to be a good product we're rolling out there. Miami's got a chance to be good again. And you could pair with Malachi Toney. That may have been the best wide receiver duo in the country, but we don't have to worry about that because he's loyal to the soil.
Rothman, what is the immediate follow-up when Jeremiah Smith suggests that he was offered $10 million by Miami but chose to stay?
The immediate follow-up?
Yeah.
You have one?
No, I have one.
What is yours?
Well, how much did Ohio State pay to keep you? I'd love to know.
That's the difference. That's exactly right.
What if it's 8? What if it's
because Matty just said he's loyal. He's loyal to a point.
Yeah, he's not playing for free.
Yeah. He has to then do the math. How much am I leaving on the table? And is that enough to want to stay here?
And who's to say he's leaving anything on the table?
That's true, but then why would he go?
What if it's restricted
why would he
free
go
agency
public with the 10 number?
An Ohio State match.
That's what the offer was.
No, I know, but the offer had to be more than what he was getting, or he wouldn't.
I don't know if that's the case.
Oh, you mean it was just even? Well,
I just wouldn't be surprised if he was asking, like, hey, somebody did offer me 10, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he's getting that from Ohio State.
I could see that if he wanted to, like, dog Miami and be like, they offered me $10 million. That's still not good enough to get me down there.
That too.
But that's not how I read it. I read it in that the offer was astronomical, but I'd rather stay here. That's what I took it as. But that doesn't mean that, like you said, he's taking some kind of
crazy pay cut here.
75%.
Which isn't the case. Yeah.
And Ohio State's done a pretty good job at developing, that Buckeye Sports Group and trying to get guys all these opportunities to maximize the NIL for them.
And he's got massive endorsements that he's attached to, too. Massive endorsements.
Which is probably the best way to look at it, is that maybe he could leave some money on the table to stay where he wanted because he's making it up everywhere else.
Yeah.
But those national endorsements that you said, like American Eagle, that can travel wherever you go. Mm-hmm. Those aren't local.
All right, we're going to come back. We'll switch to the Brownies. Should they not miss out again on this? Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, what are we wearing?
Lie detectors. Anytime a lie is detected, we get a little shock.
All right, let's try them. So, Pella was rated by homeowners as the leading window brand here in Columbus.
Nothing? Okay. Well, our windows can change the look of your home. Ow. This thing sometimes shocks you when you tell the truth. Ouch. It's okay. I'm having fun.
Get the windows that can change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Hey, it's Anthony. By now you know my good feet story, but the point I try to get across is that it's an ongoing one for me. For as long as I can remember, it's always been about my lower back. But when I got fitted for my personal arch supports, it's been an absolute game changer. I feel better. They take all the stress off my back. I feel supported and aligned, and you don't hear me complain about it the way I used to. I could feel the difference instantly, and I didn't have to wait to feel that difference. Once I got fitted, popped them in my shoes, took the test walk around the store, and now on a daily basis, everything feels better. And that's what I mean about an ongoing story. This journey to feeling more comfortable makes everything better. You can make an appointment online or just stop into the Good Feet store in Grove City or the one on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, and their experts will personally fit you. Then do what I did. Take a test walk around, and you will feel the difference. Do your feet a favor. Get started at goodfeet.com.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at 1033 Polaris Parkway at Polaris Commons. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Polaris Commons in Columbus.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Your reputation matters. That's why so many landscape professionals choose Gravely. Right now, during the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event, you can save up to 20% on Gravely commercial mowers. Built to perform day after day, so you can deliver the results your clients expect. Work hard, mow with Gravely. It's the Gravely Mow the Distance sales event, April 9th through the 19th. Visit your local Gravely dealer today.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
This spring, take a break from interest with 0% financing for up to 60 months on new 2026 Tucsons. 0%. Go now, Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit ends 4/30.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms develop this afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy to mostly cloudy with highs in the low 80s and breezy winds. We'll see partly cloudy skies tonight with overnight lows in the 60s. And then for Wednesday, we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms again in the afternoon, otherwise partly sunny, breezy, and warmer with highs in the mid to upper 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
T-Bone and Tyvus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. These two have a ton in common. Anthony loves hockey, and Maddie's always cold. This is Rothman and Ice.
See, Maddie, the stuff that's stuck in the back of my cranium.
Yeah.
When you said what you said about being a booster, I'm a booster, you're a booster. Wouldn't you like to? Maybe Ohio State should come up with their own version of Dr. Pepper. The late 70s, early 80s. You always say what's old is new. They could turn that into something.
It's old is new again. Fashion, everything, man. It's coming back.
There are different levels of boosterism, though. I did get a text from our friend Tim May, who, by the way, asked that great question of Ryan Day.
Oh, okay.
And then also, you know, we talked about $10 million. And I my point was that I don't think anybody is worth $10 million, but that doesn't really, the worth is the result. Like if I pay $10 million for one player for 1 year, I better damn be playing in a championship game. Like
if you paid,
that'd be the worst scenario.
What if you paid $10 million for Jeremiah Smith and he won the Biletnikoff?
I'm not doing it for a wide receiver.
What about that return, though?
Well, what return am I getting?
He won the Biletnikoff.
I know, but you're saying I'm turning that into recruiting tools for, like, we had a Biletnikoff winner and you got to come here to win one?
No, I'm saying you were the person that spent the $10 million. And let's say...
Is it giving me the award? Am I getting...
I don't think so.
Is he handing it to me?
Would that make you feel better about that? The money you spent?
It'd make me feel better that I paid the guy who I already knew was the best. I mean, what do I need that for? I don't need to already know. I need a quarter. I need to pay someone that handles the ball or the biggest game wrecker you've ever imagined on defense, because there's nobody outside of a quarterback that I would even think about paying that money to. $10 million?
Reggie Bush at his peak at USC?
Running back, I'd be scared too.
But if you got that return when Reggie Bush was at the peak of his powers, I think that's worth it. I think that'd be worth it.
I don't know. That seems... I mean, are you guys with me on that you wouldn't pay a non-quarterback? Although you did mention Reggie, but I mean, I guess you could go back all the way to how great Archie was here when he was winning Heisman's and how much it meant. But that era of football was different. Like, that's why I don't even know if I pay a running back in this era that much money. I don't even know. I wouldn't pay a left tackle that much money. I just can't make the connection between this guy's going to win us a title. Now, there are great players in college football. I mean, great that we've seen. Lamar Jackson, Travis Hunter, guys that wouldn't equal title just by handing them $10 million. Might get us in the conversation.
I don't think there's anybody that can do that then. I don't. Because I think if, let's say, Arch Manning was what he was supposed to be, that doesn't guarantee you anything.
How about this?
That just guarantees you good quarterback play week in and week out.
I got one for you. Let's say that Joe Burrow, after perhaps the best season in college football history at LSU, he had some talent.
Oh, yeah.
Around him.
Well, yeah.
But
two guys now that we are splitting hairs to be named the best receivers in the NFL.
And that may be the point, that you may have to have that around the guy to make the $10 million sing.
Yeah.
But imagine if Joe had another year after that. Like, he just done that. We've just seen this. And the legendary season he had, and he's available now to the highest bidder. I would think that somebody would say $10 million's okay.
If I have a team around him that's ready to win, and I could pay Joe Burrow $10 million to come to my university because he had 1 year left off of that year. Now that I would entertain, because if I can turn that $10 million into a championship season.
See, that's interesting, AR, because there's no guarantee of that.
There isn't, but I got a much better shot with a quarterback than a receiver.
I agree with that. And there's a team right now in Texas Tech who brought in Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati. Reports are they're spending $3 to $5 million on him, or they spent $3 to $5 million to get him to come out of the portal and go down there with them. And so I agree with you that if in that case you turn the page and Joe Burrow's coming off that historic season, probably be in that ballpark.
And maybe we come back to our original point, which is I'm not giving the $10 million to guarantee a title. I'm giving the $10 million because I want to be known as the guy that gave it.
To flex.
And the guy that got it. And the guy that's now in the suite on the 50 for every home game. And we can thank him for all of this.
Feeds people's egos.
Whoever the team is that brought him in.
I think there's plenty of branches off this tree.
And they're more than willing to pay that price.
But are they willing to do it again and again?
Pump that ego.
Like Texas Tech, they went crazy with money last year.
It's all relative, man.
Didn't equate to much for them.
It didn't.
Think about it. If you have $2 billion, so because I assume that like the super, super wealthy are the people who are funding this. So if you have $2 billion and you're living and dying with your college football team every single week, and $10 million to you would just turn you down to $1.99 billion, but you have a better football team that might win a championship, that in a weird way that none of us can relate to benefits your quality of life.
Yeah. It doesn't. And we've talked about the one thing that bothers me the most, I've told you this, is if you had let's say TLC, that you had a $1 billion grandfather or whatever, and loves Notre Dame. And that's how you became such a big Notre Dame fan. And then you found out they've got a bad season going and they want to buy out the coach. And they go to your grandfather and say, we need $50 million. Stroke us a check. Buy out the coach. I would be like, are you kidding me? You're going to hand that guy $50 million to walk away? That's not helping our program at all. I guess it does help in that you're going to be able to look and identify a new coach that might turn it around. But, man, if I'm that wealthy alum that loves that university, I guess that you could appeal Matty to his heart and say, hey, you can help us out of this mess.
I agree.
But I would not.
For a buyout, that's a tough sell.
For a buyout,
that's a tough sell.
To stuff it in the guy's bank account and say, go have a happy life.
I don't know.
You sit in it. You sit in those press conferences. You explain why we suck.
Yeah,
like,
I'll
honestly,
just say, I want my money to go elsewhere. I can't support a buyout.
100%. That's the one thing that bothers me if I was an alum. You want it to go to, I don't know, whatever. The new training room, the facilities.
Anything, yes.
Maybe I would entertain recruiting. Maybe. But it'd be difficult. I would say, are we moving forward or are we like that to me is just throwing good money after bad. You guys made this bed, you lie in it. Come talk to me when his contract expires. We'll see about identifying a new coach. But can you imagine like a relative of yours spending Maddie's birthright inheritance and handing it to a coach?
I didn't think about that.
Exactly.
But
it's different, doesn't it?
Maddie doesn't want to get cut out of that inheritance.
I think there could be something if you are so sick and tired of watching a particular I guess James Franklin's the example that I would think of, because ridiculous in-game decision-making, big game decision-making, always falling short. And also, if your entire fan base, like that's something that could also be appealing too, is that you could be like a folk hero. You could be like the knight in shining armor who swoops in and fires if you make a giant production of it, you can also give yourself the credit for it if you wanted to. But you could like swoop in and almost like be the savior to the people. But obviously that would require you plus the entire fan base being like, we got to get this guy out of here. And not just like, oh, the program's like kind of underwhelming a little bit. We're falling short of expectations. Like it has to be like, no, we can and will be so much better if we just get this guy out of here. And so that's a lot that it would have to go a certain way for me to get to that point. But
it would have to be
I'm talking about this like I'm never going to donate to a school. Like I'm not doing that. Okay, Ohio State has enough of my money.
You would have to promise me, AR, that we're getting Urban Meyer or Nick Saban. Then I may do it. To buy out this guy, to bring little Nicky or Herbs out of retirement. That would have to be
and I got to pay for him. I got to pay for him too.
Yep.
Yeah. That would be like to make me think about it, and it's not an automatic no. Would be those two guys.
It would have to be like a fleet of donors, because I'm like, hello, why is this all my responsibility?
Well, it wouldn't be all your responsibility. They'd be appealing to you as the savior of the program, and then you would get some rewards with that. You'd get some team access, some field access, some all the more suites than you could sit in. Like you'd get probably you could name your price on the other end about being a part of the program turning around. But man, that is a tough sell for me. It always has been. The buyout one.
I'd rather.
Which alum has to do the buy? Which guy do they call to get the buyout cash? Yeah, you can call a handful of alums to say, "Hey, we're looking forward. You going with us? Here we go." But the one that says we need to get rid of this guy,
don't hit my line. Don't hit my line for that. I'd rather pay for a new field goal post than doing that. Get my name on a field goal post or something out there on the field that I can see every Saturday.
That's right.
Then when they tear it down, that might be a problem.
Oh no, you'd have the Crisco out, Matty. Because you bought it. You'd protect it.
That's true.
Nobody's climbing up that.
Actually, I think it might go in the other direction, where the boosters be like, "Hey man, we need a new coach," and then the team would be like, "Well, if you want one, you got to pay for it." Like, that's the only way out.
It has. I'm sure it has worked that way before. And then
I assume the ones who paid his contract are the ones that are most tired of him already.
Man, I know it's money that no one can really relate to, the amount of millions that are being tossed around to players, coaches, what have you, but that is a tough one. The buyout one has always been a tough one for me. All right, we're going to come back with our friend Tyvis Powell in 2 minutes. We'll get his take on the Browns and whether they have to learn from a year ago or not. Rothman Ice on the Fan.
Spring showers revealing roofing or siding issues? Trust the pros at Newman Roofing for expert care, white glove service, and quality you can count on. Schedule your estimate today and take advantage of special financing options. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This spring, celebrate the women who made you, raised you, and stood by you. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. For over 78 years, whether it's for Mother's Day, an anniversary, graduation, or just because, we've had the perfect gifts for the women who mean the world to you. At Diamond Cellar, you'll find timeless jewelry they'll cherish forever because every woman deserves a little sparkle. For all your spring gifting needs, visit Diamond Cellar on Selma Road and at Easton Town Center, or shop online at diamondcellar.com.
As the seasons change, it's time to prep your HVAC system with a $49 seasonal tune-up from Columbus Worthington Air. A seasonal tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and help prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. It all adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Columbus Worthington Air and Bryant Heating and Cooling. Whatever it takes. Visit cwaohio.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 47543.
For more than 25 years, Brothers Roofing and Construction has been serving Central Ohio with dependable roofing, siding, and exterior repairs. We do the job right the first time. So if quality matters to you, visit brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony can follow direction very well, as long as he first prints out MapQuest. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back with our guy, Tyvis Powell. He's always here, somewhere, lurking.
Dancing on camera. Saw that on Morning Juice today. Getting your Coachella on with the Justin Bieber vibe.
Were you dancing on camera on purpose, or were you just late back from a break?
No, so, every day I do the news at 6:42. And when I come back from the news, sometimes the segment started already. So if the segment starts, I always do something in the camera before I go jump back on the mic.
Oh, okay.
It's like
it's not your own personal OnlyFans.
Breaking the fourth wall is what you're doing. I got it.
Yeah, my subscription is $19.99 a month, so sign up.
Okay.
Oh, because you have the one thing. We caught you doing a video for a fan. What is that publication called?
Cameo.
Yeah, we saw you in the parking lot doing those. You still doing those?
Yeah, I haven't done one this year, though.
Okay.
People don't love me no more. I ain't good enough.
Champ, man. You're the people's champ.
Well, it sounds like you've leveled up from Cameo to OnlyFans. That's where the real money is, anyway. Don't worry about. Let the unacceptable candidates worry about Cameo. You are way past that.
Yeah.
Maddie, set this analysis up for him.
We have some audio we want to play for you. This comes from Dane Brugler, which I'm sure you know, does a good job covering the NFL draft. And he was on his podcast and he was talking about the Browns and maybe where they are right now when it comes to possibly taking Carnell Tate at 6. And did they miss on an opportunity last year? And are they going to make that same mistake again this year?
You know, I think it's funny with Carnell Tate, from Ohio State. One of the reasons they passed on McMillan last year in the top 10 and they went with Mason Graham was because they had an incomplete testing profile on McMillan. All he did was a 40-yard dash the entire process, and he ran a 4.53. Okay, what did Carnell Tate do? All he did this process was run a 40, and he ran a 4.53. And so I think it's interesting when you look at it through that lens. Would the Browns, seeing the success that McMillan had last year for the Panthers as an NFL rookie, would they make the same? I don't want to say mistake, but would they look at the situation the same this year with Tate?
What do you think of that?
To be honest with you, the more I think about it, the more I feel like the Browns gonna trade the pick. I think they're gonna trade it to Jerry. I really do. I think Dallas is gonna come get the 6th pick and take either Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs with one of those picks. And I think the Browns will be back at 12, which then means they'll probably miss out on Carnell Tate, which means that they'll probably end up with like Jordan Tyson. I think that's the more I just sit back and just watch things pan out. I just for some odd reason feel like that they will trade out of that pick, especially if Carnell Tate is gone before then. But I will say the small chances that they might, at 6, they might take the left tackle, Spencer Fano, because as you can see this whole entire offseason, they tried to follow Chicago's plan where Chicago rebuilt their offensive line in 1 year. And I believe with their first-round pick, they took a tackle. So I think that if you're going to, because you heard AB get up and talk about how he's seen what Chicago did in one offseason, if he's following that same game plan, then they're taking a tackle at 6. I think it'd be Spencer.
Sorry, you know what I was thinking when you brought up Jerry? I thought the same thing last year, and he didn't do it. Like, I saw them trading out of, where were they last year? 12 U.S.?
2. The Browns was at 2 last year.
No, I'm talking about Dallas. Like, I could see them, last year I could see them trying to trade up and get Teterow and McMillan last year, and they didn't do it.
Well, Jerry and Jimmy is pretty close as friends, right? So, I think that, they got that type of relationship. And if they're dangling picks 12 and 20 for 6, who wouldn't take that, right? That means you have 3 first-round picks. So if they're dangling both of those, then, you would probably have to take that deal. And the funny thing about it is, because last year I was in Berea after the Browns did the first round, and we had AB on to talk about it, and AB said that pick was traded 2 weeks ago. So before when they traded 2 for Travis Hunter, like that deal was done 2 weeks ago. It just wasn't public, and it makes me think like, I wonder if that trade has already happened behind closed doors. But I guess we'll see. I just for some odd reason I keep seeing all this. Cowboys want to move up, and there's belief amongst top teams in the draft that the Cowboys are going to try to trade up with 12 and 20. And I just, they want to do that because the thing is, we all feel like a lot of people feel like the Browns have to walk away with at least one of the top 3 wide receivers, and that's Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, or Carnell Tate. If Carnell Tate is gone, I feel like those 2 will still potentially be there at pick 12. And you gain 2 more, you gain another first-round pick, and you got a lot of holes to fill, quote-unquote. I think it just puts you in a better situation.
You think he'd go up to 3, though, to get Sonny, not like David Bailey?
Nah, because I feel like Arizona and them, they need talent on their roster. So I think that's probably the route they're going to go. I wouldn't be shocked if they took Jeremiah Love, to be honest with you, with the third pick in the draft, which would kind of shake things up a little bit, because then you got maybe potentially Carnell Tate going 4 to Tennessee. So, it's just something to watch out for.
But going back to the Brugler clip that we played for you, T, like, should that be a concern at all? Like Carnell's offseason and just having that 40 time as kind of the only thing that he's done this offseason?
No, I think if what Dane Brugler is saying is true about the Browns and what happened with Ted McMillan, then there's no way in the world. One thing I'll give the Browns credit, they don't make the same mistake twice. Okay, they might make mistakes, but they usually don't make them twice. And if you got burnt on something like that in the past and you've seen the success that Ted McMillan had last year, then you would not make that same mistake again. You would take Carnell Tate at 6. If you're going to make the pick at 6, you should just go ahead and take Carnell Tate, because you got tape to show that he's going to be ready. He's going to be ready to go. All the analysts say he's the top receiver in the draft. You have a glaring hole at wide receiver. Why would you not?
All right, Ricky Henderson, how's the base running training coming along? How we doing?
You know what? Splendid. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that I've been watching baseball, and it's like osmosis. So the funny thing is, I watched Rocchio last night get picked off, and he had a good jump and everything. And I said, look at this sucker here. This would never happen to me. So I picked up his tendencies and seeing what he did wrong. I'm not gonna make that same mistake. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. By the time this catcher gets the ball to second base, I'll probably be rounding second, to be honest, going to third.
This is a 30. What are we looking at? About 26 yards or something like that? I'm trying to equate the base path to football, something for you. Are you doing like 30-yard sprints? Is that what you would equate it to?
Something about me, AR, is that I don't need. I'm like AI. What is this practice?
Okay,
stuff?
I'm over scientific. I understand it. You're right. I'm going too analytical for you here.
Yeah, what is this? What do you mean I need to go out there and practice? What is that? I'm a gamer. I just do it. Nike is all I wear because I just do it.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, a guy like Ellie or a guy like that is probably doing first to second base in about 3 seconds. Like,
I'm doing mine in 2.5.
What is the penalty if you don't get this done? What do you have to do?
There is no penalty.
Oh, okay.
I just has to walk off the field in shame with his head hanging.
You know what the thing is? You see, the problem with that, Matty Ice, is that who thinks about that? That's near that. You know, the chances of me not getting it is so slim that the thought of that never even crossed my mind.
I think that you should have to be. We saw a guy trying to catch
I should get a 10-day contract. I should get a pinch-running contract.
We were talking about if you fail. Well, I mean, when you fail.
Well, that's not going to happen.
That you should have to be like Lucille for a game. Like you should have to walk, or Crash, or whoever the other parrot is, or whoever. A bird of some kind.
I think he should have to work at the concession stand for Diamond Dog Night, one of their busiest nights. I think that's what
just
she should
inserting the hot dogs into the buns.
Okay.
Which part? No, I'm just asking.
I can't believe y'all don't believe in me. That's the part that's what I'm getting out of this conversation, is that y'all don't think I'm gonna get it done.
I don't. It's not. I don't.
Listen,
you're an
AR.
Yeah.
AR. The last person that doubted me at the station had to come in and shave his beard. I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
No doubt.
Good for you. No, I think the confidence is. I wish I had an ounce of his confidence. So well done, man. When is this happening so we can all live the glory with you?
We aiming for somewhere around May 17th, I think, is something like that, somewhere around that time.
Is this happening after the show? Will we be able to attend, or is it like, what are we doing?
I think they're going to be in town because they play somebody home that series. Okay. So I don't know. I haven't orchestrated at all. I will let you know when we get closer to.
Please do.
All right.
The event.
Then the biggest question I have, and you're probably co-signing this, is that Maddie can print the shirts on the Tyvus's takeoff or whatever it's going to be. He can print the shirts. You're going to make it.
100%.
Okay.
I mean, listen,
that's a dangerous thing to say.
It's like money in the bank. Like I've never been so sure about something in my life.
I feel like you say that a lot, though.
No, I don't.
What's your shooting percentage on saying that? All right, we wish you luck, man. I guess you're not going to train for it, so that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, that's for losers. Who do that? What is this train?
Oh, that's right. Paralysis by overanalysis. You don't want any of that.
I'll go.
All right, see you,
go
buddy.
Bucks. Go Jackets. Finish the season out strong. Give Alex Ovechkin a L on his way out the door. Go Crew. I know we got some injuries, but don't let that stop you out from being great. And always and forever, go Guards, free Classe till it's backwards. Take Ortiz with you.
My man, keep dancing in front of that camera, buddy. That's where the real money is.
Keep
shaking. See ya, pal. That is Tyvis Powell, our guy. T-Bone and Tyvis. He's going to be attempting to steal second base on a professional catcher and pitcher. Yeah. And it sounds like he's already standing on second, and he's already extracted the bag out of the dirt, Ricky Henderson style. He's going to sign it, hold it up over his head, and carry it off the field. We come back with a Buckeye Bulletin. We'll check in on basketball and the portal and where it stands. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Family owned and operated. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Here's something you don't hear admitted very often. When you run a business with your family, you don't always get along with them. We argue, we debate, we have real conversations about the decisions that we make. But at Care, every conversation comes back to our priorities, doing right by our employees and our customers. Because when you treat your team like family, they take better care of the families they serve. And when you treat your customers the way you'd want your own family treated, trust follows. That mindset doesn't always maximize short-term profits, but it builds something better, long-term relationships. Today, more and more local companies are being bought by venture capital firms, where maximizing profits often leads to a sales-first mentality. Care is still family-owned and locally operated, so we can keep people, not profits, at the center of every decision. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Hey, it's AR here from my longtime friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. If you need service but don't have time to plan it out, Germain Honda of Dublin makes it easy. During the Honda Spring event, you can take advantage of same-day service, no appointment necessary. Just pull in, and their team will take care of you. Fast, convenient, and done right the first time. They've been taking care of me and my Ridgeline for years. Keep your Honda running at its best with Germain Honda of Dublin and at GermainHondaofDublin.com.
We're hiring at Don's Garage Doors. No experience, no problem. We provide full training, a brand new van, top-of-the-line tools, a gas card, and steady jobs with weekly pay. This isn't just a job. It's a career with real growth, great pay, and job security. Our team members go from training to 6 figures, and we're ready to help you do the same. Don't wait. Apply now at donsgaragedoors.com.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Welcome back to the Financial Playbook. I'm Laura DeLeon, KeyBank Market President, and I'm with wide receiver Jeremiah Smith.
Laura, my favorite play has to be the pass it on play. It's a fundamental way to support your community.
The quarterback pitches to Jeremiah, who budgets for a pass to causes he cares about, into the end zone, scoring a donation for his community. So generous.
It's a play to make it if you love giving back, Laura.
You heard it here, folks. Until next time, KeyBank opens doors.
KeyBank, member FDIC.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to metal supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Skip Mussick has been on the Fan for nearly 80 years, and during that time, he's worn many hats. Executive producer for Ohio State Athletics, talk show host, private detective when Ron Stokes loses his phone. Somebody do something! He's done it all. But his proudest accomplishment, host of Tee to Green. If it has anything to do with golf in Central Ohio, Skip's on it. Cheers to the next 80 years, Skipper. And listen to Tee to Green Saturday mornings at 9 here on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Save up to 50% on new windows from windownation.com.
Well, it's going to be a wild little portal season for Jake Diebler and the boys because they got to replace a lot of their roster. And they've got some good ones coming, though. I mean, they've got a 5-star prospect in Anthony Thompson. And his job will be to make you forget about Devin Royal. And then you have certainly the upward mobility of Amari Bynum and hopefully Junie continuing to mature at his position as well. The additional transfer portals right now are the former Cal and Michigan guard Justin Pippen. And now we have former Kentucky forward Andrea Yelovich. And I don't see yet like that big-time veteran point guard and starting center that I was clamoring for.
Maybe
But
Justin Pippen can give you some of that, right? With the point guard duties and getting maybe Junie off the ball just a little bit here and there, because you mentioned his experience, and I believe he comes in as a junior, maybe even a senior, that being Pippen. And so I like that. He was a productive player for them, at that being Cal last year. And, you know, Yelovich, as you mentioned, comes in from Kentucky. And, you know, last time that happened, they went shopping at that store. Didn't work out so well with Bradshaw. But that's not to say that this cannot work out. And it seems like he's got, you know, some size to him, obviously, and he can maybe stretch the floor a little bit, right, which always works. But I think you want a healthy balance of both from your bigs. Maybe one big that can do that, another big that can get busy down low and clean up the boards and do all the things that we saw really come back to hurt them this year. And so they're not done. The roster management was going to have to be fluid this offseason with the amount of guys that left. You mentioned Devin Royal. He ended up at Villanova, I believe is the word on the street. I think TLC was mentioning that. Earlier, there was some UConn stuff out there, but he's going to go over to Villanova, as we know, which is a pretty good program, and we'll see what we can do over there. But, yeah, I'm excited to see what Pippen can do, because I think there's going to be a lot on his plate following the Bruce Thornton era. And like I said, it may be somebody else, too, but he was 14 a night for Cal last year, and I like that he's coming in with some experience.
So that'll be very interesting. We'll see who their other targets are. They have plenty of them. It's just landing them. So just to keep up to speed, they have a guard. They got a forward in the portal. You know, Nova's one of those teams that is just kind of associated with the tournament in my lifetime, and they've gone on a quiet streak. They made it, but they got bounced too this year, right? And so they haven't, I don't think, the difference between Nova and Ohio State is they've got second weekend Final Four much more recently. And so they can live off that a little bit. And that's what you hope in the tournament, right? Even if you get to the Sweet 16, you can live off that a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
sport is crazy, man.
Yankee fans have been
2
living
wins,
off.
and you've had an amazing, successful season.
Yes.
And you get bounced, it's a failure.
Yeah. I mean, think Yankee fans, they haven't seen a World Series since the mid-2000s, but they've got 27 of them, right? So you got that saved up in the bank, to your point.
High State is trying to find a way, and this is good. They're trying to get their fans' input on what's happening at their stadiums. And so there's the department's going to survey season ticket holders and all these key stakeholders and get their input from football season ticket patrons. And it says here that a study has been commissioned to gather feedback from the Ohio State community to help determine future courses of action. This is from Ross Bjork. We need to listen, learn, and gain insight from as many sources as possible. All right. I know they're going to elevate whatever fan experience they can. The LED, all that, the boards, everything, video boards and all that.
This is both for the shoe and the shot? Is that your understanding?
Yes.
The survey's going on? Okay.
There would be two separate surveys, yes.
Okay, and look, obviously that's going to hit different for everybody. AR, we're talking the shoe specifically. You may want more hot chocolate stands for when the games are cold. I may want heated seats.
That we can do.
Who knows? All that type of stuff. So it is. I like that they're doing that.
It'd be amazing if that's what they got back.
We need more hot chocolate.
And some pecan pie. Movie?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No, it's not a.
It's not an oldie.
It's not an '80s comedy, but it is an oldie.
Oh, it is an.
I want some
Godfather.
No, I want
Scarface.
I want some hot chocolate and some pecan pie. I think I left out.
TLC, this is your thing. Step up to the plate. Let's go.
Pass.
No, you can't.
There's a power core in it for you.
He got his power cores today, by the way.
Movie came out in 2000.
Oh, it's not that much of an oldie.
If I gave you an actor, I could give you an actor.
You putting a power core on the line right now for him?
Yeah, I always do a power core for him.
Okay. One actor?
One actor, female or male?
It won't make a difference.
It won't.
I'm not going to.
All right, I'll give you the most popular one. Ben Affleck.
What's the Good Will Hunting?
No.
What is it?
Hot chocolate and a piece of pecan blanket pie. Reindeer Games.
I've never even heard of that.
Okay.
Reindeer Games.
Okay. Quoted that several times in here, but no, that's okay.
What movies have
that's
you
true, but
quoted,
that's okay.
Sir?
It's a fun little ride. I don't think it's there's some little twists and turns to it. Charlize Theron.
That's a win.
A nice Gary Sinise in the movie. It's
Garrison Hurst?
Not the former Georgia running back. Is that right?
I think
so.
Okay. I figured you threw it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Georgia, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
We got Georgia. We got the Phoenix and Arizona Cardinals. We got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
San Fran and Denver.
Real quickly on the stadium stuff before we hit a break here.
Yeah.
I know that the shot feels sterile to a lot of people, and I get that. But I was hearing Joshua Perry and Bo talk about this earlier. And what jumped to my mind was, because Josh was talking about, hey, if they win, it's all about the program.
Build it and they will come.
Kind of that way, but also how it relates to players wanting to play there. And all I kept thinking of was Iowa's over 15 grand. Illinois is over 15 grand. Michigan State's over 15 grand. Now, they're not the biggest, which is what Ohio State is, but they're well within that area of, and you would never look at those places as they've got an atmosphere problem.
Yeah, it's been a question for years as to why the place isn't buzzing consistently the way that they would want it to. And
I get 18, 19,000's a little different, but maybe it's the construction of the configuration.
It could be better. We all know it could be better, for sure.
All right, come back top of the hour. We'll hit you with a deep dive. Is our boy Robert J. sauntering around, or is he on the horn today?
Oh, he's in studio.
Beautiful, because he's always better
to my knowledge.
Studio. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
With the first pick of my favorite places in Columbus, I choose Hollywood Casino Columbus. The draft is coming up. 4 in the top 10. Oh, man, is this draft going to be fun. So much fun, we need to throw a party. Scotty Vegas here, and come to the sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus on Thursday, April 23rd for the draft. We're going to have contests, prizes, and best bets. See you at 7 on Thursday, April 23rd. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
With all that can go wrong at your home, it's enough to make you want to say, oh, brother. With Brothers Roofing and Construction, one call covers it all. Roofing, siding, rotting decks, we cover it all. So visit us online at brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Hey, folks, it's Jeremy Birmingham. Berm here from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. After hitting maintenance with Awaken 180, I kind of thought that was the whole deal. All right, cool. Don't be an idiot now. Don't gain it back. Stay under 200 pounds. That was the win. But then maintenance did something I really didn't expect. I lost another 5 pounds for free. I'm now down 40 pounds, further under 200, and that's the part about Awaken 180 that still cracks me up a little bit. Because people hear maintenance and think it means barely hanging on, eating celery in the dark and trying not to blow it. That's not this. I'm eating pizza. I can have ice cream. I'm living like a normal person. The difference is I'm not fighting myself all day, or if I'm wondering what one weekend away from the plan could ruin the whole thing. Awaken 180 just didn't help me lose the weight. It taught me how to live in a way where I'm not headed right back to where I started. The last 5 pounds in free maintenance, that tells you everything. Awaken180weightloss.com. Go there now and give it a chance and see how it can help you take control of your life and your health the way it did for me. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to make memories than the Columbus Zoo. See tigers up close, watch playful otters, and see the baby elephants in action. For a limited time, take advantage of our Zoo After 2 p.m. deal. Plan your adventure at columbuszoo.org.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hop into savings this spring with Ohio Mulch. For a limited time, save $100 on home delivery at ohiomulch.com. What sets Ohio Mulch apart? Premium pine bark mulch made from southern pine, long-lasting and perfect for hydrangeas and azaleas. Better mulch, better results. Ohio Mulch.
Aviators football returns Friday, April 17th, 8 p.m. kickoff. The first 5,000 fans through the gates take home a free team flag. Grab your tickets now at uflaviators.com. United we fly.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The rain is coming soon. How can I prepare? My sump pump's getting really old and floods are not that rare.
You're right to think ahead before you're out of luck. I'll check it out with expert care for $37. Client satisfaction guaranteed. Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
3 people, 3 different kinds of joint pain. One decision to do something about it. The solution, not surgery. It was QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
I wanted to use my own body to hopefully regenerate and get rid of that pain. So it's been 3 months and my back is significantly better.
The pain in my knees was pretty severe, so I came here, and even after the first treatment, I noticed an incredible difference. If you have pain in any part of your body, this is the place to go.
I couldn't go to the gym anymore, and I couldn't play with my grandkids. That's why I made the decision to come here to QC Kinetics, and it was the best decision that I ever made for my own health. This works. Don't do surgery.
Finally, relief for 3 real patients. Lives transformed through QC Kinetics non-surgical treatments. Your story could be next. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios, driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Isaiah Jacob. The CBJ are back in action tonight at 7 p.m. for what could be Alex Ovechkin's final game for the Washington Capitals. The Jackets are eliminated from playoff contention after the Flyers locked in their playoff spot against Carolina last night. In MLB action, Cleveland and St. Louis will continue their series tonight at 7:40. On the mound for the Gardos, Joey Cantillo. For the Cardinals, Michael McGreevy. For Cincinnati, the Reds travel to San Francisco to start their series against the Giants at 6:40. On the mound for the Reds, Brady Singer stinger for the Giants, Robbie Ray. The NBA playoffs kick off tonight with play-in tournament action starting at 7:30 with the Miami Heat and Charlotte Hornets. Cleveland is a 4 seed and will host Toronto on Saturday at 1. This update was sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co., locally inspired dishes and award-winning cocktails. Visit highbankco.com to make your reservation. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, back at it, final hour of the program. And our man, Bobby Carpenter, in studio. Always better in the flesh. Good to see you, my man.
The real fleshlight over here, Rothman, shining some wisdom onto your day.
Please do. I always appreciate it.
Getting the upgrades, the elevated fan experience at the shoe, Rothman. That's what we're all about.
Hey, you didn't return my text the other day.
Oh, what was it?
Left you on red?
I sent you a text the other day. It wasn't anything that important, but I wonder. You could probably look it up now and see what it was. Maybe you saw it and then didn't respond. But
I'm getting a lot of these group texts that I'm trying to escape from. Oh, yes, absolutely.
I'm just wondering.
I think they're going to put it over in the other.
Oh, okay, shoot. We had his jersey. We're remodeling some things here, and I said, this would look a lot better at my charity golf outing than would be collecting dust on the floor of a studio.
I've heard you say that before.
It's got like 3 layers of dust now.
Yeah, because it's been there for a while, but that's usually a line that you lead with when we're usually out in public at maybe some sort of bar social event that you lead with that to some lady saying that looks great on you, but it looks better on my floor.
Well, old habits die hard, man. Those lines that just kind of stick with you.
That got me thinking, though. What's like the coolest piece of memorabilia you have at the house in your man cave that you look at and you're like, I'm glad I have that jersey? What do you have that you're proud of having?
My wife's great uncle played on the 71 Pirates World Series team with Roberto Clemente and everything, or 60, whatever. It's late 70s, early 70s, late 60s. And so they have that, and it's signed by all the guys in there. And then there's also a picture of them down in, I don't know how this happened. They went down to Cuba afterwards. I don't think it was quite as hostile, but they're like sitting there, and like Fidel's got like some sort of machine gun, and they're all like hanging out around him with him. So, so that's pretty cool. Gosh.
Any signed jersey from a player that you got down there?
So I've got
a Romo down there?
Romo, Witten, and I tried
anything game soiled.
So I've tried to get something signed. When I was playing, I need to probably get Calvin to give me a full jersey because I have a jersey from Romo, Witten, and DeMarcus Ware.
Okay.
I have some stuff signed by T.O., but I don't have a display. I got to find it because at the time I thought he was so polarizing. I'm like, I don't know why. He was probably a Hall of Famer. He was, but I don't know. So I have some stuff signed by him. I probably should get a jersey from him. I have a jersey from Zach Thomas that when he went in, I'm like, dude, I want a Zach Thomas jersey. Because I think I asked one for someone else, and then I was like, hey, can I get one too? So he sent me one. I've got one from Tom. It's not framed. It's actually at my dad's house. I need to get that back. But it's not framed. It's just sitting there. And then I've got a ball with Calvin and Stafford on it. So it's that's like cool. Just those two guys. And I was like, that's pretty good.
Very nice. Did this make it into the child's draft? Because I know we've talked about Bobby's trinkets and you're not going to take them all with you, but you don't want them to fight over them when you're gone.
That's a good point.
So you decided to orchestrate, be the Roger Goodell of your own family.
I may have to do a memorabilia draft.
Right.
That's a good point of like, what do you guys want? And then my daughter will probably just sell most of it. She doesn't care. So it's like whatever's most valuable. But anything my boys, I honestly have this picture of my dad that I got blown up. I don't know if I have a picture on my phone. That's probably half the size of that wall. I got a canvas of it. I called in. I got it ordered from the AP.
Giants or Oilers?
Him with the Giants.
Okay.
Playing. And I was trying to get this other one where he's going over the pile against Atlanta. And it was in Times Square for a long time. And I reached to Breer, anybody I knew in the media that could get a hold of it. And they just couldn't find anybody. So I found this one that I really liked. I got a hold of the AP, and then it's through, not Gannett. I forget what the other service is.
UPI?
Maybe I bought it from them. It was like They charged me like $500. I'm like, dude, this is a personal use thing. It's not for repurposing. I promise that's what it is. And they go, oh, it's yours. So I was like, I got to tell my brothers. But I've got a huge canvas of it, and I put it, and it sits like over top of my couch. And that's one of the cooler things to me, like personally, just my kids like. I mean, it lets them see a little bit like what Grandpa was, not this 70-year-old dude that like walks around and takes them to go feed the cows. Like, you know, showing them some clips and some different things of him playing. So like that's some of the cool stuff. I promised I got to get the one too. I told Cardinal I don't have a lot of current Ohio State stuff. I've got one with AJ Schleggs and I. I've got one with AJ James and I. I've got one of my jerseys. I've got a Troy Smith signed picture. Got some Zeke signed stuff because my son loves Zeke. But I said one of the other things that I really want is I told Carnell I wanted a picture of him doing the pose after the touchdown this year.
The hands on the hips.
Yeah, like that was kind of like that was the game right there, buddy. Like you put it on ice up there. Everything that he had been through in his journey to Ohio State, I'd always really enjoyed Carnell. You know, from his mother passing to battling injury stuff, and never really getting a chance to be the guy, and then making that play, hitting that pose. I go, that's something that was kind of special to me. So I was like, I want you to sign that just personally for me. It ain't going anywhere else. It's just going in my bedroom.
I like the
maybe not my bedroom.
The grandpa though that's taking him to milk the cows or whatever. I mean, this one tastes like the cow got into an onion patch.
Exactly.
What about the renovations at the shoe? How needed in your mind for the fan experience? They did some
stuff last year. I was talking about this on my show, and I love you get get in the chat and you get the real opinions, and people are like more. They upgrade, I guess, the bathrooms in C-Deck. You can always do more.
Maddie wants hot chocolate.
More hot chocolate. Well, they do need probably more ways.
And pecan pie.
Well, I heard the reindeer games. Okay. It's a movie that I have not seen the whole thing of, and it's sad because it's on the list. Prisoners that Bodie gave me, which I've heard is pretty good. I went and watched the previews. It was just 2.5 hours long. I didn't have time. It was like 11 o'clock, and I was...
Plenty of time.
Well, I was drinking. I wasn't going to make it. I knew I was going to pass out before I finished it. I started watching The Boys, too, which is pretty good. You watched that?
Oh, boy.
That's like Avengers meets Pulp Fiction.
You talk about a tone being set in the first episode.
Well, what's crazy is that Chase Crawford, the guy that plays old boy...
Homelander?
Not Homelander, the Aqua guy.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
so Chase is Tony Romo's brother-in-law.
Really?
So I know Chase. He was on Gossip Girl. I know Chase fairly well.
Yeah.
Well enough that his mother was RJ's first babysitter. Like, and if I'll text him, he'll text me back. And watching him pull his pants down and seeing like half the side of his butt cheek, I'm like, and his parents are pretty conservative folks. I'm like, bet Dana's really proud of you right now, buddy.
I think this is the final season.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
so that's
sure
what kind of got me into it.
Yeah. It's a wild ride, and there's one episode I'll tell you about off air because I can't say it on there that it's going to it's eye-opening,
well, I mean,
to say the least.
I'll be like you as I'm shepherding Bodie through Game of Thrones. You can shepherd me through this. But last year they put the stadium cluster, the speaker clusters in, which people love the sound. Someone was complaining online that like they don't like the stadiums flashing when we score now. And I'm like, well, why? They go, it looks bad on TV. I'm
I
like,
love
well,
it.
In stadium, I think it looks great. And I've never really seen it on TV, but I know the thing is, the reality is B-Deck probably one day will be all suites.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to balance that with how do we do some other things? Like, can we do some like standing room only stuff? Like what you have in a lot of these NFL stadiums. They've got the field level suites, but so if you want to go spend, you know, 5-6 figures on a suite, great. If you want to come in and we can get you a standing room only seat for $40, like you're willing to walk in and just drink beers and watch the game standing up in like some pavilion
railing,
there. Yeah, like let's try to do that too.
Get a baseball game.
Yeah, and try to like figure out how to kind of mesh those things together while people want the scoreboard done, but they're doing the club on the other side. Like it's a 100-year-old building, and so there are limitations. My biggest thing was I go as long as. Because I went in my first game in Ohio Stadium, I believe, in 1991. Played Iowa. My dad had a player there that he coached at New Lex that was playing up there. So we went and took my grandpa went and my younger brother Jonathan. We all four went and saw the game. I went to some games in like mid-'90s, and I went to the 98 Michigan game, which was the last one before they dug the stadium down, did all that. So we
got rid of the track.
Yeah, we were sitting on the bleachers on the track. And ran out there, like digging up earth. I put it in my parents' yard. In my mind, the grass is still alive. Maybe, maybe not. 50-50 on that. But I go then playing in there and then watching them, They dug it down, expanded south stands, and then expanded it more, put the stadium in, or the press box, expanded suites. Like when I walk in there, it still feels like Ohio Stadium. Like as long as I walk in there and it still feels like Ohio Stadium, I'm good. Like that's the thing that it needs to maintain. I don't want it to look like Soldier Field where you've dropped a spaceship inside of it and it's lost all the feel. And so finding a way to I made this comparison. It's like an old classic suit. We can get some new shoes. We can throw a new tie on it. We can get a new watch, church it up, throw all the little
accessories, whatever.
But the suit is the stain, and that's what I want it to feel like.
Yeah, that's fair. Accessorize anything you want, but keep the
slap a little rouge on it.
Slap a little rouge on it. That's right. That's right. Make an easy transition. We're going to come back. I got to tell you, I love these segments. We're going to come back and want to get your opinion. Maybe you can be our legal expert on NIL.
Roger Cossack?
Yep. I got I have to edit myself all the time. It stinks. I need a FM After Dark with you. All right, we're coming back. Rothman Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Ready to make it rain on the court for a great cause? It's the 3v3 Hoops Tournament at Ohio State University RPAC. Saturday, May 2nd from 12 to 4. Hosted by NBA legend Kenny Anderson. Grab your three and let's see who the best trio in Columbus. For your shot at a share of $10,000 in cash. Register now at ClassicForColumbus.com. That's ClassicForColumbus.com.
Presented by the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Office of Economic Engagement and Community Development, and America 250 Ohio.
Hey Central Ohio, it's Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and yes, we buy houses for cash the easy way. We've been buying houses for over 20 years and we've seen it all. Whether you've inherited a property, you're behind on payments, the house needs work, or just want to avoid the hassle of listing, we've got you covered. No repairs, no clean out, no stress, just a fair cash offer and you pick the closing date. We've helped hundreds of homeowners sell fast and hassle-free, and we're proud to have 5-star reviews all across Central Ohio and an A+ rating with the BBB. If you're ready to sell your house the easy way, call Home Team Solutions at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit us online at selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, and family-owned. Again, that's 614-962-SELL. 614-962-7355 or selltohometeam.com.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast, with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Over 90,000 5-star reviews don't happen by accident. They happen by putting people first. Fixing your garage doors is what we do. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Door Service today.
Welcome back to the KeyBank Financial Playbook with Jeremiah Smith.
This play is called the rainy day out because everyone needs an emergency fund for a rainy day.
Jeremiah fakes left, past impulse buys and subscriptions, then gains 3 to 6 months' expenses right into the rainy day fund. What a gain!
That's money in the bank.
Poetry in motion, JJ. Until next time, KeyBank opens doors.
KeyBank, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Cherie Sample Hughes, Women in Government Board Chair. Alzheimer's disease often starts subtly with a memory slip, lost word, or forgotten appointment. For patients experiencing memory and thinking issues, there are FDA-cleared blood biomarker tests that can help detect the buildup of proteins in the brain that can lead to the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. That's why early detection and diagnosis are so important. Sharing details about your memory and thinking issues with your doctor can help determine if testing is right for you. Find more at womeningovernment.org.
Ohio
Ohio delivers elections you can trust through unparalleled accuracy. In every election, we feature a thorough bipartisan audit with a consistent 99.9% accuracy rate. Make your plan to vote at voteohio.gov. Absentee ballots must be returned by Election Day.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state. The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Catch Ohio State baseball all season long on The Fan 2. You can find the magical land of The Fan 2 by tuning into 1460 on your AM dial or clicking on The Fan's HD2 feed. Tyler Danberg thanks you. Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Chances of showers and thunderstorms develop this afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy to mostly cloudy with highs in the low 80s and breezy winds. We'll see partly cloudy skies tonight with overnight lows in the 60s. And then for Wednesday, we do have a chance of showers and thunderstorms again in the afternoon, otherwise partly sunny, breezy, and warmer with highs in the mid to upper 80s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan. Rothman Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, hanging out with our guy Bobby Carpenter in studio as we always do. So this is the question I have about NAL. When Jeremiah Smith said that we all believe that it was Miami that probably came back and he said it was $10 million and then some. First of all, I don't think technically anybody is worth $10 million, but it's never been about that. It's about, maybe worth to somebody. But my feeling, Bob, was on the NIL collectives. So third-party NIL deals. If TLC's this big, wealthy alum of Notre Dame, and he calls up Jeremiah Smith's agent and says, give me his routing number, I want to give him $10 million. That's not how this works, right? I mean, he's got to be attached to some sort of a business entity.
It's got to be cleared. Yeah, but you can create any type of business entity, and maybe it's just, here's $10 million to take my wife out for an evening. Maybe it's a Robert Redford situation.
An indecent proposal?
Possibly.
Woody Harrelson running around somewhere regretting the decision?
Yeah.
Hey, he co-signed. He stamped it.
So, that's what they have this whole little clearinghouse that's supposed to do that and make sure that doesn't happen. I don't know to the degree of which it's working and they're enforcing anything with it, so I'm not 100% positive.
Okay. Because it's different than the... Obviously, the revenue sharing, which is 20 and a half.
That goes through the school, and it's interesting. Thidoff and I on the Juice had on a guy from The Athletic who had filed Freedom Information Act with all the schools to try to see what everybody was getting paid. It's like a lot of them ignored us. Some of them said it was student, student welfare concern. That's why they weren't able to release it, their privacy stuff. And he's
kind of HIPAA.
Yeah, they basically kind of tried to, FERPA, I think is what it's called, and they tried to throw it out. And then other ones are like, hey, they threw out some stuff that had the names redacted, but at least what the payments were, so then you could maybe deduce who fits in.
To see whose rosters, how much each roster was worth.
You could see the schools?
Yeah, some of it you could see, one of the schools gave, I guess, the list of the payments, but not who the guys were.
Was it Tech?
I have no idea.
Okay. I have to imagine they're high up on that list somewhere.
Oh, they may have said, bump it, we're not going to give you anything, which is what a lot of schools did. They just ignored it, which technically is against the law, but who knows?
And the number keeps going up a little bit as far as the revenue sharing?
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to climb, but it's probably not climbing fast enough. And so that's why, you see stuff with the stadium, it's how can we, we'll make the bathrooms nicer? There's no return on investment on the bathrooms unless they're charging you $1 to take a leak. By the way, I don't mind I don't mind peeing in a trough by someone else. Maybe a little splatter gets on me, my splatter gets on them. I mean, I'm fine with that. And if I'm not, then I need to check myself at the door.
Yeah, I mean, a fan's got to come to the games prepared as the player.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're getting other things on you when you're playing the game.
You'll walk in the door to that stadium, cross between those lines.
That's right.
Put your gear on.
Get your gear on, because I don't have time for quitting. Nobody quitting here.
So there's that. The next thing up is going to be the jersey patch, which there's going to be people that are going to be melting down. But the potential numbers that have been thrown around that I've kind of heard about jersey patches, do you want to pay more for your tickets? do you want to have good players or do you want to have a jersey patch? And I think when you look at it, like Ohio State is the most valuable brand, so by them having a jersey patch, other schools can do it, but they're probably not going to get as much. And so that's going to cure a lot of ails.
Just can't slap it on the helmet. That's all. Right? You just can't have.
What about the back of the helmet?
That's fine. I mean, listen,
is that because you just don't want it on your face? I know that the one coworker you had said something about nothing on their face.
No, that was. It reminded me of when I was watching the Jackets against the Red Wings, and the Red Wings were wearing helmets, and on their helmets just say Meyer on them, and it's just like, kind of like.
They got the helmet stickers. Yeah, the patch right there.
Yeah, the patch right here is okay.
Like what, AT&T or whoever the company's going to be the step up. I think that's just where we're headed.
It's going to be probably an 8-figure proposal. Like it'll be a solid check.
What are you looking out for on Saturday over there?
What's going to be interesting is obviously Jeremiah and Julian, those guys won't be live. Does he make Tavian St. Clair live a little bit? Because I think, honestly, it could be to his advantage some, as opposed to playing tag. Like, Tavian's 235 pounds, 6'4", like, athletic dude. Like, let's see what you can do with the ball. You're a much different quarterback than Cam Newton, or than Julian saying. Like, if we get you out there, you might be a little more Cam Newton-esque. So we would tailor to what you do really well and use, like, some of those skills differently. And not that you're going to run them 50 times a game, but, like, you can do some different stuff. There's different challenges. So I'm curious if he gets him, not a whole, like maybe a series or two, like 10 to 12 plays, just to kind of see what he can do. You don't want to get him hurt because he's your backup, but you want to get him some live action too.
Yeah, and I think, listen, you connect with Chris Henry a little bit on a couple, and now all of a sudden you feel like Ohio State's watching their future.
But he can scramble. Like, the problem is their offensive line. Probably 4 of their top offensive linemen are down. So I think that they'll probably let that top group ride a little bit. They may sub out Luke, they may sub out Carson, but kind of leave the other guys in there. It's going to be good work for Ian Moore.
Well, they don't have any running backs.
Well, exactly. Well, you might be seeing Stanley Jackson Jr. getting a heavy dose of him. Like, that's what spring game is, too. Like, some guys getting to go out there and put on a show for some folks, or maybe getting decapitated a little bit. I don't know.
Going back to the NIL thing, because we were kind of trying to mention players that we would feel maybe comfortable in a hypothetical conversation about paying that money to. I brought up Reggie Bush when he was at the peak of his powers.
Already getting paid. You already knew what he was going to be.
True that. But I'm saying, I think that number for me, based off of what we knew of him as a player then, I think return on investment for that, I think, would be worth anybody else that you could think of, like because AR brought up a good one, I thought, like Joey B coming off that 2019 season.
If he had another year left, it's a quarterback. I mean, you're not paying a non-quarterback $10 million to play college football in a year.
Vince Young would be one of the other guys, like Cam Newton, Vince Young, guys who literally drugged their teams. And Texas was better. But, like, Cam Newton, they had, like, 3 guys drafted off that team.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I mean, it was him. It was Cam and the Funky Bunch, basically. Like, there's a handful of other dudes, and you just drug them to a national championship. Like, that guy in Auburn, I mean, if they could go back and say, hey, you can get the time machine, hot tub time machine, and go back and pay Cam for one more year, I bet that number would be $20 million.
Speaking of that era, we need to bring back that crystal football for the title.
Yeah, it's way better.
Isn't it better? Like, I like the one now, but that crystal, that football that we had then, that was a win. Holding that thing.
That's the best.
Beautiful.
But it's just fragile.
Yeah, sure.
So you got to be careful. I know a couple of people have broken them over the years at different locations.
I have a picture of, I don't think Arch
the lead singer for Cars.
I don't think Arch fumbled it. Rick Ocasek should have bought that painting. That was his son's. Oh no, that was his.
The phallic.
It was
painting?
he and and Paulina, his wife.
Yeah,
they were at a little art show in the Short North, and Maddie, it was a very erotic type painting. It was
you should show him the picture.
Okay.
Let me tell you the story. You can bring the music down for her.
Oh, we're getting serious.
No, just so it gives it a little better effect. That's all. That's all.
No, usually when we do that, there's like a serious story.
No, it wasn't serious. And I can't tell you what the painting was because it just doesn't. Okay, Bobby can explain it. But so I get invited to this little, I don't know, it's kind of a small, intimate like art show that the late lead singer of the Cars, somebody I grew up with, Rick Ocasek, had done some abstract paintings. And they were all like his own personal work. And since he was a celebrity, the prices were pretty high. So I got invited to this thing, and I'm in the Short North, and I'm at this gallery, but I'm not there to see him or talk to him, whatever. He married an SI swimsuit model, Paulina Porskova, who also, when I was a kid, clearly was the tops of the industry. And so I am like ear to ear grinning. Like I asked to take a picture with her and she did, and I've got it.
Roped her.
And then, okay. And then every year after that, I've always regretted that I didn't buy this one picture. All right. It was Bobby. It was a rocket ship in the shape of you know what, and it had and anyway, it was a one of one.
I love that his mind thinks like that.
His mind thought of that. And I thought, all right, you can just put this. Where would you ever hang that? Hey, put it in a bathroom or something or whatever.
Bedroom.
And I always regretted not buying it because then he wound up passing away. And I'm thinking, my goodness, this probably, no pun intended, would shoot to the moon like this painting. And I'm like, man, and I always describe this to people. And I was in a room of, 50, 60 people. And I was looking back at the picture that I took with Paulina Poroskova. And I'm ear to ear. And over my left shoulder on the wall is that picture. Of the hundreds of pictures that are in this room, I happen to take a picture with her. And over my shoulder is the rocket ship. And so I guess I'll always have it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I got to see this.
It's cosmic.
That's good.
Man, somebody has it. Somebody's admiring it right now as we speak. All right. What else you got going today?
You talked with Dom about the 5 potential first rounders, where they might be going, what they might be looking like. So,
do you still believe that that the 4 will go top 10? Or
as I talked to some people late this week, I think it'll probably be Arvell first, Carnell second, Sonny third. I think that there's a possibility that Caleb slides out just because of the hesitation of drafting a safety that high, but it'll be right on the fringe. And I think K-Mac will probably end up going because it's a very soft D tackle draft. So I think people, like, if they can get him, they'll take him in the end of the first, and then, that'll be that.
Okay. Good to see you as always, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's our guy, Bobby Carpenter. We'll come back in 2 minutes. Did the Browns already win this trade? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone here for Window Nation. Spring has arrived, and it'll be a great time to open your windows. But, oh, wait, your windows don't open easily. They leak when it rains. They've got cracked glass. They need repainting again. Ugh, getting top quality custom fit windows from Window Nation, that's easy and affordable. Right now, during the More You Buy, the More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off all your windows. Plus, you could get them with 0 interest for 5 years. During uncertain times, one of the best investments you can make is in your home. Experts report that windows retain 80% of their value. With Window Nation, you'll get windows that easily slide open and closed. They are made with top quality seals so they won't leak when it's rainy or windy. And unlike other windows, they're maintenance free. They're so good, Window Nation stands behind them with a lifetime warranty. And they're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Save big with Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale. Going on now. Sale ends soon, so visit windownation.com for your consultation.
For more than 25 years, Brothers Roofing and Construction has been serving Central Ohio with dependable roofing, siding, and exterior repairs. We do the job right the first time. So if quality matters to you, visit brothersroofingconstruction.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Miss a minute of Rothman and Ice? Check out the podcast.
Type in Rothman and Ice wherever you get your podcasts. Download and subscribe.
Back to Rothman and Ice.
All right, the request to tweet the photo is not happening. Like, if I was a different guy, I would, but I'm not that guy. I'm not doing that. Like, it's a good story from the past. It's 30 years ago. It feels like that.
And when you were taking the photo in the moment, you honestly did not realize over your left shoulder was that photo.
Maddie,
painting.
The cosmic things that have happened like that in my lifetime. And I know it doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but the odds of me hating that I didn't buy it and then going back years later and looking at the picture and seeing that it's right there on the wall behind in the photo that I never noticed of the 100 paintings that he had there.
I'm trying to think of my reaction if I were to come over and like, hey, Maddie, come over and watch the game or whatever, and that photo was in
the
your bathroom.
It's just a rocket ship. That's all it is.
That's one way to describe it.
All right, so we were talking about, I think when Tyvus was on, he was talking about the Cowboys maybe trading up with the Browns or trying to get up high and get somebody. And I was talking about how I thought they were going to do that last year. And when I thought they were going to do it last year, I thought they were going to go after Tedero and McMillan. And that was based on what a lot of people had thought. And then last year, there also was a thought of the Browns taking Travis Hunter at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people thought that they should, that he was a game breaker. You could play two-way star. We know the story. And a lot of people thought at the end of the day, the Browns will not be able to pass on what Travis Hunter brings to the table. And I think Andrew Berry thought he was a wide receiver first and then a corner.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I remember last year. And Cleveland would have a pretty fun duo with Travis Hunter and Jerry Jeudy, they thought at the time. A lot of Browns fans did.
And Denzel Ward and Travis Hunter.
This was probably when they thought they had a quarterback, too, to some degree. We weren't really sure where that was going.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
And so I could understand maybe that feeling. But now you look at Travis Hunter and where things are with him and if they would have stayed at 2. So you brought up this before the show, that the Jaguars traded a lot to get him, right?
So they gave up their 2026 first rounder and some other stuff, and then the swap last year.
Yeah, they gave him a lot.
They moved up to 2, giving up the 5th overall pick, and then, as I mentioned, the first rounder for this year and some other stuff to get him. And now we've got reports from the NFL Network that the Jaguars in-house, it sounds like, are having serious discussions to make him a full-time corner and a very, very small amount of wide receiver play for him. But Travis Hunter saw that report. He reposted it on social media and said, "Who told you this?" So there's some odd stuff going on here that Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, the team over there at the NFL Network is throwing this out there, and they feel confident enough to roll with it that somebody, obviously, whether it's Liam Cohen, the owner, the GM, is telling them that, hey, this is our plan for him moving forward, is that we want him. Is it 90-10, 80-20, whatever it may be, that a large majority of his reps as an NFL player now sounds like are going to be on the defense side of the ball, and Travis Hunter is pushing back on that. And so if you're a Jaguar fan, you can't like the dysfunction right now. I don't think this is the end of the world, but the player himself is letting us know that he hasn't received that message.
What if he's good in both but not great in one?
Does that pay off on the trade?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Good in both and not great in one. Like, to me,
what would you rather have? I'd rather have him be great as a corner.
I'd rather have him be good in both.
Me too.
Oh, you would? So
I like the balance.
Because I think if you essentially trade 2 first-round picks for one. Obviously, you swapped last year's first-round picks. So you spent 2 first-round picks on him. I think that's with the intent of him being a two-way player, so you feel like you're getting 2 players for 2 picks.
All right, let me switch the question.
Okay.
What if he was great as a receiver, and we didn't need him at corner? Wouldn't he live up to the top 2 pick then?
Yes, but for the wrong reasons. Because I think the discussion around him would be much different if he were a great receiver, because we have stats to go off of, than if he were a great cornerback. So I think that...
Well, it's just great corners don't get drafted that high anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Devin Witherspoon did, Jalen Ramsey did. I mean, they didn't go second, but they went top 5. But it is rare, no question. But I just think the conversation, and I'm saying this would be unfair, by the way, the conversation that fans would have would definitely be different if they had stats to compare, because you don't really have cornerback stats to compare in the same way.
You can feel the presence more of a receiver, to your point, of as far as versus a corner. Because you can watch a game with an elite corner, And he may just not have anybody throw to his side. And that doesn't mean he's not impacting the game, right? Because you're not seeing him with a pass breakup or an interception or whatever it may be. But to me, that's a huge impact because the quarterback in his mind is getting the ball and going, I can't go over there because that dude is that good.
I think the injury has scared them. I think they don't want to expose him that much anymore. Or maybe they saw something at receiver that they didn't think was going to top out where they wanted.
What exactly was the injury? Can you remind me of that?
Wasn't it? I think he had was it a knee, TLC? It ended his season, right?
It did end his season. I know that. I can't recall what it was.
I almost feel like it was a knee, but I could be wrong. We should check that. But I think that may have them a little bit.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Weirded out.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
And by the way, it's your own roster makeup too. Feel like you're deeper at one position, and you don't feel like you have to have a two-way star, but
they committed some resources to Jacoby Myers as well, right, in that wide receiver room. Brian Thomas Jr. is still there. There's been some chatter that maybe they may trade him, but followed their actions, right? You have Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, who they got from Las Vegas, hit him with a new deal. They may look at their wide receiver room at the moment, especially if they're in the mindset of we're not trading Brian Thomas Jr., that having him as an asset on defense right now with the way our team is constructed is more valuable to us at the moment than it is with him doing both right now.
Yeah. I think we could all come to the conclusion that if he doesn't become a star on one side of the ball, then the Browns were right to pass on him. At least we can look at it that way. I don't know if that's...
If he's only playing one side of the ball, definitely.
I also think,
but what if he becomes a shutdown corner on one side? Then you can't say that he didn't live up to.
And you know what? And this is also unfair. This is more unfair to the Jaguars side of the argument. It depends on who the Browns drafted and how they turned out.
Mason Graham, correct. So the
Plus
Mason this year. Absolutely.
So whoever the Browns go at 24, those will be the two guys. Mason Graham and the 24th pick will be compared to Travis Hunter.
I've just kind of always been in the headspace of if he can move the chains for you every once in a while on third down on offense and be the corner that you're talking about, that to me is worth the deal that they did. Because obviously those guys aren't roaming around the league. And I have to imagine that's their vision. And so if you have a defensive player that can be that impactful to go through the AFC South and slow down Nico Collins and slow down whoever is going to be out there for the Titans and the Colts and all those guys, that's a big-time deal as well. And so I still think he's going to be able to help them at a high level. But just based off of his tone in that tweet, AR, it doesn't seem like that's what he wants to do.
I think he's hurt by it a little bit. I think he feels that maybe there's some bailing on that side of the ball for him, and he's like, wait a minute, you're going to throw that possibility out just now because I wasn't great this year, or I didn't have the production maybe you thought we'd have.
Yeah.
So if he's a big picture guy and he wants, I think this would be a little bit of a blow to his ego, even though they're probably not looking at it that way. They're probably saying, hey, we're going to put you right in your wheelhouse where we think you're going to be one of the best in the league at your position versus trying to play you on both sides of the ball and where you can become the next Deion Sanders or something. I feel like it's probably more of him, let's not quit on this yet.
Right, because I think when you've done something at a high level for the majority of his football career.
He wouldn't have won the Heisman without it.
Correct, because he won the Biletnikoff, the Heisman, all that in the same year. You want to give this another test drive. And then if it's year 2, year 3, and I can't do both at a high enough level, and I think that's easier for the player to accept. Right now, he's training his body and all that stuff to go out there and do both. And I want to see him do both. I hope they don't give up on this experiment just yet. He doesn't have to be full-time either way or on both sides. But I do think that when you have a player that's shown you the skill set to help you, then it's your duty, I think, as a coach and as a GM to find ways to make that happen. Because that's why you made the trade anyway.
Yeah, so in case you just kind of jumped in, there was an NFL Insider report for me and Rappaport that claimed that Travis Hunter is going to play full-time as a corner this year. And that's when Matty said that he, quote, tweeted that and just said,
who told you this?
Now, who told you this?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he was questioning the report, which is nice for Ian. He wanted to know who told you this, not, I don't think he questioned the facts.
I think he is.
No, I think he... really?
Yeah. I think he's calling BS on Rappaport.
He had an emoji with it, kind of like one of those thinking things, like, who told you this? I think he's more curious
on how it got outside the house?
Well, not necessarily. I think he wants to know who's thinking it. I don't think he thinks it's false.
I think if he was on board with this, he wouldn't have any reaction like that. He just oh, that's just what it is.
Oh, are you saying?
I don't think he's.
Are you saying that this is the first Travis Hunter is hearing of this? Like he's learning his coach's plans through the media?
That's what I think.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't think he's questioning that it's false completely. I think he really wants to know if someone is thinking this, I need to know who that is.
Which is bad on the Jaguars to not communicate
It could be. That's how
to
I'm
him
reading it.
first.
Yeah.
That'd be bad on them.
Because if he wasn't, his quote tweet would have said BS. False report.
I don't know.
I think that's kind of implied.
Yeah,
I read this as Travis Hunter saying, like, yeah, you think you know everything? Okay, reporter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Be interesting to see. Yeah.
All right, we're coming back with Tell the Truth next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
BMI Federal Credit Union is celebrating their 90th anniversary all year long with monthly sweepstakes. Get in on your chance to win free gas for a year when you lower your car payment with a BMI FCU auto loan. Apply today at bmifcu.org/gas.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications that top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Now is the time to call Comer & Cross and transform your garage with a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor. Maybe your garage floor has exposed concrete with stains and cracks or a bad epoxy or paint job. Well, the new Comer & Cross garage floor will transform your entire garage in just one day. Now, here's the great part of this whole story. If you call them right now, they're going to take 50% off installation. Yeah, that's right, 50% off installation from Comer & Cross when you call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. Plus, they make it easy. They'll take your stuff out of the garage for you. They'll fix your cracks and pits perfectly like it's a new garage floor, and then they'll apply the proprietary finish that you pick. Yeah, I said it. They'll fix your cracks and pits. What's wrong with that? That's what you want. So call them today at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR to get 50% off installation. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Hey, it's Anthony. By now you know my good feet story. But the point I try to get across is that it's an ongoing one for me. For as long as I can remember, it's always been about my lower back. But when I got fitted for my personal arch supports, it's been an absolute game changer. I feel better. They take all the stress off my back. I feel supported and aligned, and you don't hear me complain about it the way I used to. I could feel the difference instantly, and I didn't have to wait to feel that difference. Once I got fitted, popped them in my shoes, took the test walk around the store, and now on a daily basis, everything feels better. And that's what I mean about an ongoing story. This journey to feeling more comfortable makes everything better. You can make an appointment online or just stop into the Good Feet store in Grove City or the one on Polaris Parkway in Westerville, and their experts will personally fit you. Then do what I did. Take a test walk around, and you will feel the difference. Do your feet a favor. Get started at goodfeet.com. Hey, it's AR here for Germain Honda of Dublin. If you've been thinking about upgrading your ride, now's the time. It's the Honda Spring event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and they've got seriously low lease rates on the Honda HR-V, and Civic for well-qualified buyers. I'm talking reliable, fuel-efficient, and fun to drive without stretching your budget. Stop by Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. Check them out online at GermainHondaofDublin.com. The Honda Spring event won't last forever.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Sunday mornings at 8.
It's the Fan Call-In Show, presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by McDaniel GM Superstore. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, TLC, take us home.
All right, I don't even know if you knew this. As we were talking earlier about I'm going to go out and get myself a mug of hot chocolate and a piece of pecan pie. It is a National Pecan Day.
No idea. That wouldn't have made any sense for me to know that.
Today's the day.
Seriously. Wow.
So what do you know of all the days for you to drop that line? It is today.
And you had, about a month or two ago, your first ever taste of some pecan pie, thanks to one of our listeners.
Yep.
And now you're all in.
It's from someplace in West. Yes. Someplace in Westerville. Rothman, this is your neck of the woods.
Was it Just Pie?
Yes.
Just Pies?
Just Pies.
There we go.
That's right.
Shout out to Just Pies.
So we got that. That was great.
Incredible.
So is pecan pie at or near the top of your pie power rankings? At or near?
Yeah, top 5. I'm trying to think of... Yeah, I would think that would make it in the top 5. I like banana cream pie.
Okay.
I do like... a really good piece of apple pie for sure. That's got to be in the top 5. I like a triple berry pie. I think I just did 4. So pecan pie, apple pie, triple berry, banana cream. What am I missing? I probably wouldn't put pumpkin pie in there.
Sweet potato pie.
Shame.
Peanut butter pie.
I don't think I've ever had that.
What is that?
I think I've ever had that.
I would try that.
Yeah, I think I've had it. I can't remember exactly from where.
I'm in the same camp as TLC. Well, he's not in this camp anymore, but I've never had pecan pie before. Never tried it.
We don't know if you've had any pie.
And
apple pie.
I'm about to say, Rothman, you know what? And I don't think he ever will.
Yeah, I don't think he ever will.
Yeah, apple pie is number 1. But I was never like a pie guy growing up. It was always like cake or cookies.
But that ended.
Pie or sweet potato. It was really
cake.
Apple, which are amazing, by the way. But like apple pie or sweet potato pie is kind of just where it started and ended for your boy when it came to pies.
Yeah, you know where I stand on this. I agree. I think you've never had it and never will.
Probably not.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sad that you wouldn't just try a bite of it just to see what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Nobody says you got to eat the whole thing, but yeah, that saddens me. But I'm happy for your discipline.
Ain't that a shame? All right, so yesterday in the Twins-Red Sox game, Twins second baseman Luke Keeschel, he tapped his helmet to challenge a strike 3 call. And this was in the 5th inning of their game against Boston. The minor controversy out of this is that he challenged the call when they had a 12-3 lead. And so now we have yet another unwritten rules conversation about baseball. When you have a 9-run lead in the 5th inning, should you really be challenging borderline strike 3 calls?
Absolutely.
I'm surprised you're taking this side.
No lead is safe. Did you see the scores in baseball last night? See how many runs were scored in Major League Baseball last night?
Because I was watching Yankees and Angels last night. So I seen it, but that...
Was it Arizona who blew a 9-1 lead?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, if he thought he had a walk, why wouldn't he challenge it?
It's also like... Yeah, I don't love it. 9-run.
Game's not over.
Yeah, I'm out on that. I think that's a little...
What inning did you say?
5th?
5th inning.
No, not even
3.
That bolsters my argument even more. Let me give you the scores from last night. Just scores in general.
11-10.
9-7, 13-7, 16-5, 11-10, 10-4, 13-6, 8-1, 9-3,
But to your
not
point,
a pitcher's day.
Here's the other. Here's where I disagree with you, because let's say to your point that they do close the gap on that lead. We need that challenge late when the game gets tight. So that's why I also don't like it.
Okay, I can see that theory, and I understand that you only have, what? 2 seconds to make the decision.
To make the call,
He
yeah.
thought he was going to be awarded a walk. His instincts took over. He did not like the
But
call.
your out doesn't matter if you're out in that point. We're up 9 runs. It's
Well, then
not like
the
a
out wouldn't
critical
matter
match.
later either.
No, it would if the game gets close to your
but you're
point.
saying the game won't get close.
No, what I'm saying, in that situation, when we're up 12-3, my out doesn't matter right now. Let's keep the challenge.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Just in case.
You're using your paper not for writing, but for rolling doobies.
It is National Ex-Spouse Day. Each year on April 14th, National Ex-Spouse Day encourages those who have dissolved their marriages to forgive their former spouse and move beyond any anger or bitterness that may remain. Is it weird to be friends with your ex?
No, I don't. Well,
being civil?
I think it's strange if your ex is in a relationship with someone else.
How about if you've had kids together?
No, I have no issue with that
I'm
at
taking
all.
that off the table because
No issue
you kind
at
of
all.
have to interact.
I think if...
Well, you could always just hand the check to the kid.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you at with this? Because you've had some interesting scenarios.
You know, I'm friends with every ex.
There's a drop.
I would say go listen to The Heart of the Matter by Don Henley, and you'll get every answer you need.
I guess I've just never understood the point of really being friends with exes. I've never, what are we talking about? What are,
you guys are taking it to a whole nother level. This isn't a weekly or anything, or like a...
Oh, just an annual Christmas card. Thanksgiving. Come on over. Have some pecan pie.
And some hot chocolate. And some pecan blanket pie. The high school girlfriend texted on Sunday.
Oh, that's good.
You guys are funny.
Tell the truth for today. Hey, you missed anything from our show, don't worry, folks. You can always catch up. Wherever you get your podcast, just go ahead and type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Anything else? I think that's it,
No,
right?
I just think there was a lot of O's the Mentalist stuff going on today. A lot of stuff was mentioned, talked about. Snagglepuss is tweeting out the picture of the Rick Ocasek painting, and he's the one that brought the Just Pies.
Yeah.
I think everything just kind of, on an Elimination Tuesday, thing actually came together.
Common Man and Timmy will take you to 6 o'clock. Don't move. We love you.
Talk to you later. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.